Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'm going to be playing the Qualifier Weekend event for May 2022. Qualifier Weekend events happen at the end of every season, so at the end of every month, and you get in by being in top 200 Mythic in the previous season or by winning a Qualifier play-in event. These events are best of one day one, up to 7 wins or 2 losses. If you get your 7 wins, you make it into day 2, where you're competing for a chance to be in the next set championship tournament, which are the big live streamed tournaments that have a lot of money and prizes on the line. So today's event is going to be a limited event for Streets of New Capenna. We've got sealed day 1, up to 7 wins or 2 losses in best of 1 rounds. If we make it into day 2, we'll be playing traditional draft, that is best of 3 draft of Streets of New Capenna, up to, I believe, 8 wins or 2 losses there. But that would require getting a 7-win run day 1. As this is an event, you only have 1 shot. You cannot buy in another entry or anything like that. So as you can see, the prize out is pretty good for this event, and this is an event that I got into for free just by being top mythic, so we're just going to get some free gems out of this no matter what. So really just happy whatever happens here. Even if I O2 drop, I will get 500 gems out of this just for qualifying, so that's a pretty good time. Obviously I'll be trying my best because the amount of gems you get does escalate pretty quickly here. You can get a lot of gems for higher win rates, plus a 7-win run would be pretty cool just for the chance of playing some high-level traditional draft. So without further ado, let's get into our sealed pool and build our deck for today. So here are the rares that we've opened up in this sealed pool. Kind of an eclectic bunch of rares. Nothing really stands out as a super synergistic or anything, but we do have a couple rares in a particular color pair, which is nice, and those are our best rares in my opinion. If I had to rate these rares, I would say Giada is our best rare, just an efficient, evasive threat all by itself. Plus, there are common angels in the format that we probably have at least a couple of for this to synergize with if we're lucky. Second best rare is probably Rigo Streetwise Mentor. This is a card that synergizes with 1/1 creatures or 0 power creatures. So this works well with fish tokens and citizen tokens, 2 kinds of tokens that are produced in brokers in white, blue, and green. Third best rare is probably Ognis the Dragon's Lash. This is a fun card, gives you some treasure to ramp into some big plays, but it is still just a 3/3 for 4 mana, but a 3/3 for 4 mana with haste isn't the worst thing ever. You do have to get some good value off those treasure tokens though. And then our next 2 rares are just pretty bad. Horde Hauler here is not a particularly great vehicle. I actually prefer the common vehicle over this one, the 4 mana crew 3 6/6. Not that I prefer a 6/6 over a 5/5 trample, but that one has an alternate ability where it can become a 6/6 just by sacking a treasure token, so it has a little bit of extra playability there, where if you play like a Jewel Thief turn 3 to get a treasure token out, and then you play the Capenna Express on turn 4, you can basically threaten to block anything your opponent ever attacks with a 6/6, so it really holds off attacks and stuff. This Horde Hauler with no alternate way to crew it, having to crew 3, you're going to have to tap a pretty big creature. Just not a huge fan of that card. And then there's Cut of the Prophets here being our last and probably worst rare. There are some aggressive decks in the format. Even in sealed, it's possible to run up against something aggressive, and if you're against anything like that at all, this is just going to be way too hefty of a cost. It's a very, very slow card, going to cost a lot of mana to be worth the amount of cards that you're drawing, and it's going to cost you some life when you cast it. Even if you casualty it, say you spend 5 mana to play this and casualty something to draw 6, you're going to draw 6 and lose 6 life, and that's a pretty hefty price. So not a huge fan of Cut of the Prophets. Last but not least, we do have Spar's Headquarters, which don't even like register on my level as rares. I'm just like, okay, so we got more mana fixing. You know, it's just, it is what it is. I am happy to have that though, because it does look like we're going to try to go brokers here with Giada and Rigo Streetwise Mentor being a couple very good cards here. So let's take a look at the whole sealed pool now. and see what we want to do. I'm going to start over in the mana fixing and multicolored, see what we've got available over there. That's where I like to start in Streets of New Capenna, because this sealed format's pretty interesting, at least in comparison to the draft format. The draft format ends up being 2 colors, maybe splashing a third, pretty much all the time. But in sealed, if you have very good mana fixing and a lot of good cards amongst a lot of colors, you can play a lot of colors. You can play like 3 to 5 colors in sealed if you've got the support for it. So let's see what we've got in our other cards. Other colors. The biggest reasons to be in other colors would be good mana fixing and good multicolored cards. So let's see what we've got here. So solid mana fixing for sure. Maestro's Theater, Cabaret Courtyard, Double Broker's Hideout, and Spara's Headquarters. I definitely love for the Brokers deck here that we have Cabaret Courtyard as a green-white mana fixer and 2 Brokers Hideouts for green, white, and blue. Also Spara's Headquarters for green, white, blue, so that is great. Rocco Cabaret Caterer is pretty nuts in sealed, because sealed usually is slow enough that you can drop this out later in the game, tutor up a very good card. So for 5 mana for us, this is a 5 mana, we get a 3/1 and a 2/2 Flying Vigilance out. That's just a very good deal. It's a pretty good deal with pretty much anything that you can tutor out. Rocco is nice and sealed for sure. Definitely, usually a bit slow for draft though. Brazen Upstart is solid in Cabaret, but nothing super exciting there. We've got the Agnes, Crew Captain is fine. Quadruple Glamorous Outlaw, great mana fixing for Maestros there, and we'll definitely consistently have good 6 drops if we go in that direction. Carmella's a fine Maestros card, but nothing massively exciting. Ceremonial Groundbreaker's pretty cool for Brokers. There's a lot of citizens in that color pair in green-white. And that'll make it so this is a really cheap equipment for those, and a solid equipment even on anything else. Do have Botanical Plaza, again, for a Broker's deck. That's some green-white mana fixing. In Rakdos, we have Forge Boss and Body Dropper, so decent start to a little Rakdos sacrifice deck if we go that Maestro's direction with those 4 Glamorous Outlaws. Also have a Tramway Station for mana fixing in black-red. When we look at blue-white now, we have Metropolis Angel. Very exciting with Giada, because Giada's putting counters on our stuff, and this is an Angel, so it will get a counter. So really, really good with Giada, because then we'll consistently draw cards, plus this will be a 4-mana 4/2 flyer instead of a 3/1 flyer, if we have the Dream curve out there. Exotic Pet's also good with Giada, because if we're getting counters on our cards, we're going to get a counter on the fish as well, and this is particularly good with our Rigo, because this will let us consistently attack with 1-power creatures without worrying about them dying to blocks. So that's a way to consistently draw cards off Rigo. Celestial Regulator, another phenomenal blue-white card here. Works with Giada as well to get a counter on itself and then tap something. Really, really nice card here. So really like our blue-white stuff for potential blue-white decks. So that's a look at our multicolored. Honestly, I think our best multicolored stuff is just in Brokers. Our blue-white cards are great, and then our blue-white-green Rigo is phenomenal. Our Glamorous Outlaws are solid, but that's probably the best thing in other colors in my opinion here. So looks like we could probably do a pretty standard, pretty basic Brokers deck here. So let's go color by color here. Move over to white, see what we've got here. So starting off, we're only going to put the number 1 best cards in right now. So we're going to skip over these 3 because they're just okay. Go straight to Backup Agent, which is phenomenal for what our sealed deck is going to try to do here. First of all, it's a 2-mana 1/1, so if we put that +1/+1 counter onto a different creature, it'll draw us cards off of Rigo. Second, it puts a counter on one of our cards, which is going to work great with the Exotic Pets and the Metropolis Angel and the Celestial Regulator that we saw. And thirdly, it also just works good with flyers, putting counters onto evasive threats. So having 2 backup agents here is very nice. Those are exactly the kind of 2-drops we'd want in this sealed pool. We also see Giada, Font of Hope. That's going right into the deck. Already spoke my piece on that card. Now we have a Skycrier. Works with Rigo. Works well with +1/+1 counters from like Backup Agent to get a bigger lifelinker. Pretty solid card here that can go right into the deck. Now we've got 2 Inspiring Overseers, the best common in the set. A 3-mana 2/1 flyer that gains life and draws a card. A lot of just great text on that card. Plus it's an Angel to work with Giada, so that is phenomenal. Killshot is fine. It's not super exciting. The way our curve looks here is that we could be a very good aggressive strategy that would really want removal that can get things out of the way. Unfortunately, in Sealed, we can't really be that picky. We just don't have any of the 2-mana pacifism effect here. All we have for white removal is kill shot, so it's going to have to make the cut here. Then we have Celebrity Fencer, another card I don't usually play. I don't like drafting this card very highly or running it super highly. The reason being is I quite prefer cards that can get a lot of immediate impact, even if they're dealt with immediately. So I love Enter the Battlefield effects like those on our Inspiring Overseers. Huge fan of that. Or just creatures that are just baseline upfront worth their mana cost, like a 2-mana 2/2 Flying Vigilance. Celebrity Fencer is kind of the opposite of Inspiring Overseer. Rather than being a card that immediately pays for itself handedly, this is a card that you're pretty unhappy with the moment it hits the board. But if it does stick around for a few turns, you're going to be really happy with it because 3 or 4 turns after you play this, this is probably going to be like a 6/4 for only that 4 mana you put in, which is a pretty great deal. So we'll run a Celebrity Fencer here because it is sealed. We can't get super picky, but that's a card I generally don't draft super highly. Ballroom Brawlers, kind of similar. I've drafted this quite a bit. I've never really gotten it to pop off that much, but got to play what you got in Sealed. Then Speakeasy Server, definitely have had this card work pretty well. Flyers are pretty good in this format, and we've got a decent bit of flying here to try to be an evasive deck, and this will gain us some life and get a 3/3 flyer on the board. Not bad at all. It's also a good creature type being a citizen. So those are like our best white cards. Celebrity Fencer is a bit weak. We could play the Broker's Initiate as well because this does synergize with Rigo. So if we attack with this, we get to draw a card if we have Rigo on the board. Plus, this is very unlikely to die when we're attacking with it early game, so we'll throw Broker's Initiate in. And then I guess Boon of Safety would be the last addition here, just because we don't have a lot of non-creature stuff going on right now. This is a way to protect our good cards like Giada, Inspiring Overseer, Rigo, if we want to protect some nice little evasive threats, or our somewhat balmy cards like Giada and Scry 1 in the process. Boon of Safety is a solid way to do that. So that is pretty nice. I'm actually going to throw in the mana fixing and the multicolored cards right now, because we're definitely going at least blue-white here, so let's throw in the blue-white mana fixing. Throw in Cabaret Courtyard later if we end up definitely doing green, because we could be just blue-white. So Metropolis Angel, Exotic Pets, and Celestial Regulator are all getting right into this deck. They all synergize quite well with Giada or Rigo, or both. So taking a look at our blue now, we have a couple Witness Protection. Again, a card I don't draft particularly highly, but we can't get particularly picky about our removal in Sealed. So we probably will have to play maybe one of these. These are good removal spells against large creatures that your opponents control. Pretty bad removal spells against their small creatures though, because you are just making them a little smaller, but keeping them on the board, giving your opponent something that can trump block or even trade off if you're unlucky. So we'll probably play Witness Protections, but I'm going to hold off on them for now. I'll definitely play a Fairy Vandal, another evasive threat here. This is very good with cards that can draw cards, so it's very good with Rigo. It's good with our 2 Inspiring Overseers. It's good with our Metropolis Angel. Those are all ways to get this to trigger and keep getting +1/+1 counters. So Fairy Vandal is a solid 2-drop here. Make Disappear has been a counterspell that's played pretty well in the format. We've got a decent bit of sacrificial fodder, not as much as we would hope. There's nothing that we're really happy to sacrifice, but we can sacrifice 1/1 backup agents if we've put their +1/+1 counter on some other card. But even a slightly worse Mana Leak, a 2-mana counter spell, unless its controller pays 2, has played solidly in this format, has played decently. Got Security Bypass here, which isn't the most exciting in this deck because we have a decent amount of flyers here, so I'm going to start with this in the sideboard, but maybe it'll end up looking like it would have been good in a lot of the matchups, and we'll play it later on. We'll see here, but I don't think we really need the way to give our creatures unblockable. This does give you some card advantage. Not really card advantage, card filtering though, where you can draw and discard a card every time the card hits your opponent, which is nice, but really don't think we need the evasion. So if you're not getting value off of both halves of the card, I don't think it's super worth it. Psionic Snoop's pretty weak. Public Enemy is just weird. I'll definitely play Rooftop Nuisance, though. This card synergizes well with our Fairy Vandal, letting us draw a card and get another counter on it. It's a very nice tempo play, so if we're just playing our evasive threats and trying to beat our opponent up in the sky, we can just lock down their giant creatures they're trying to beat us up with, and hopefully kill them fast enough that we don't worry about them untapping later. Rooftop Nuisance is a great card. Case to Joint is fine if we need more card draw, but a little slow for the format, and we have a lot of good card draw. I don't think we need cards that only draw a card. So we have a lot of cards that will draw a card while doing something else, some just like incidental card draw. So 2 Inspiring Overseers, 1 Rooftop Nuisance. We've got Rigo as well, Metropolis Angel, a lot of cards that'll randomly draw cards. Don't think we need cards that will only draw cards while not doing anything else. We'll play a big old Crocodile in here. I don't see why not. Should be a good game ender in our deck. It's a really nice blocker on the ground the turn you play it, which is pretty solid. And then if it untaps and it's still around on your turn, it's a guaranteed way to get at least 4 damage in, because you can make this unblockable, so it's a pretty good finisher. So I like the Sewer Crocodile there. We'll take a quick peek at our black cards here and our red cards, but pretty sure we're just looking at blue, white, and green primarily. But see what good we have in black. We've got Corrupt Court Official, which is nice. Okay. Moving on to red, we have little filler creatures like Requisitioner, Goldhound, Roastmaster. Lots of filler creatures. Plasma Jockeys are solid if we're being really aggressive. Soloist, 1 removal spell, Torch Breath. Red looks okay. It's a big pile of filler. It's like if we need just a curve of creatures, we have just a curve of creatures and a couple removal spells to back them up. But there's nothing super balmy or super splashy or exciting about red. Nothing that's an incredibly good deal. None of the like super top commons like Strangle or Mayhem Patrol or anything. But Plasma Jockey's not bad. Yeah, red is just like fine here. Not super duper high on it. Take a look at our green now. We have Civic Gardener, which is nice if green is one of our primary colors. If you untap with this on turn 3, you get to play your 3rd land, spend 2 mana to play a 2 mana spell, attack, untap one of your lands, and then spend 2 mana to play another 2 mana spell. So it can ramp you a little bit in that way. It doesn't do it in the traditional sense. You can't use this to play a 4 mana spell on turn 3 because you're untapping your land during combat. But it is interesting. Prize Fight is okay removal if we have big enough creatures, which we don't really in blue-white, so we need a lot of big green creatures. I guess we have like a Sewer Crocodile we could put in work with. We have like a shield counter here or there that maybe Prize Fights well, but not really. Filler creatures here, High-Rise Sawjack, Social Climber. Jewel Thief is a phenomenal creature, but that's our best green card and kind of our only great green card. So we could probably just stick to blue-white. I mean, did we go blue-white and splash it a Jewel Thief? Just splash it a Jewel Thief off of like a Botanical Plaza, Cabaret Courtyard, and 1 forest? There's not a massive reason not to, because we'd be playing a Jewel Thief over some random blue-white or colorless card here. Like we'd play Jewel Thief over... What if I play 2 Witness Protections, then I'm playing Jewel Thief over like Case the Joint or Psionic Snoop or 1 of Security Bypass? That's probably just worth it. Like 1 hard to cast Jewel Thief is probably better than any of these cards. I don't know. It does make things awkward. Like we're muddying up our mana base a little bit to get it in there, but not badly, because we only have 1 mana source in the whole deck that is only green mana. So there's only 1 mana source in our deck that doesn't help us cast most of our cards. And we need it because we need that to get fetched out by Cabaret Courtyard and Broker's Hideout and all that. So I really think our mana base is only marginally worse here. I guess the big question here is, would we want to play Jewel Thief over like a Paragon of Modernity? Which is, again, one of these cards I wouldn't generally draft highly, but in Sealed, the format can be a bit slower, so you can get more value off of dumping mana into this card. Plus, it's an Angel Warrior, so if we play Giada, we get another Angel on the board with this. So would I rather have a 1 of Jewel Thief, putting in a Cabaret Courtyard and a Forest into our deck, and a Botanical Plaza? Or... I guess we get the Splash Ceremonial Groundbreaker as well if we go green. Alright, so is the deck like 1 Witness Protection, a Jewel Thief, Ceremonial Groundbreaker? Or is it 2 Witness Protection, no Jewel Thief, no Groundbreaker? Instead, it's 2 Witness Protection and Paragon of Modernity. I mean, we could be playing Paragon of Modernity even if we do the green thing here. Could actually, it's probably better in our deck than Celebrity Fencer. Because of the Angel card type, and we will be playing 3 color if we do it this way. Oh, plus I just realized we're not going to play this if we cut the green, obviously. Because then we can't get the 3 colors for it. Yeah, I mean, I think that probably convinced me. Putting in green gives us access to Jewel Thief, Ceremonial Groundbreaker, plus the Mana Sink ability on the Paragon of Modernity, which gives us another Angel that can keep getting bigger and close out the game really here. So we do like this. We've got the tiniest green splash here, so most of the time our mana should be pretty good. It'll be a little bit hard to cast our Jewel Thief or Groundbreaker on turn 3, but other than that, our mana's pretty good here when you look at just like our blue-white sources. When you look at our blue and our white, we have 6, 7, 8, 9 ways to get blue mana, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ways to get white mana. That's a 10-9 split. Better than most 2-color decks get. And that seems pretty right to me. A lot of white here, so we want 10 white sources. For sure. Then a bit of blue, bit of green. Bit of blue and then a very small bit of green. We could even maybe play another forest here over an island. Because currently we have, well, actually because of our fetch lands, we've got a lot of green sources here off of just 1 forest. We have a forest, Botanical Plaza, Spara's Headquarters, 2 Brokers Hideout, 1 Cabaret Courtyard. Our mana fixing is premium in our lands. That's 6 potential ways to pull out a green source already. 6 ways to get a green source here. 6, 7, 8, 9 ways to get a blue source. It's only 3 more ways to get blue than green. And we've got like 4 or 5 more blue cards than green cards. Yeah, I think I actually like what the auto-suggester did with our mana here. Looks good to me. 10, 9, 6 as the split. 10's 1 out of every 4 cards is a plains. Should pretty consistently have a plains in our openers. Blue and green sources will be a little more iffy, but the only color we really need in most openers is white. Yeah, I like this a lot. Is there any credence to putting in another witness protection? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to need 2 of them. Like the one of as a backup plan if our opponent does resolve a really big threat is nice. We dig pretty far in our deck with our card draw as well, so we'll probably see it like half of our games. So I expect probably half our games will draw half our library. Because you start the game, if the game goes to turn 3, you've already drawn a quarter of your library. And with cards like Inspiring Overseer, Rooftop Nuisance, Rego, Metropolis Angel, it doesn't have to last too many more turns for us to have drawn half of our library. Probably on average, like turn 10, we'll have drawn half our library. Because turn 10, that would be what? Draw 10 cards, that's 17 naturally drawn. So if we just have 3 ways to randomly draw a card by turn 10, we've drawn half our library. Yeah, Witness Protection probably shows up like 50% of the time. Even with 1 copy. Magic is a game of chance. We do have to cross our fingers that we get it when we need it and we don't when we don't. But that's the same as literally every other card in our deck. How's our creature count looking? 16 creatures, 7 non-creatures. Not bad at all. One of our non-creatures is exotic pets, so it's kind of like 17 creatures here. Pretty aggressive. But I like it. Alright, I think we've got a deck here. Alright, so here's an overview of the deck we've built out of this sealed pool. It is a Broker's deck here, primarily blue and white with a green splash for a Jewel Thief, and Ceremonial Groundbreaker. It is a bit awkward splashing for a card like Jewel Thief, where a lot of the value of this card is in that treasure token, because obviously you'd rather play this on turn 3 than any other turn, and if you're splashing it, you're going to be consistently casting it later, like turn 5 or something. But we really ended up running that over some very mediocre 39th and 40th playable white and blue cards. So we splash for the Jewel Thief here. That also gives us access to the Paragon of Modernity's ability to get +1/+1 counters on it, because now we are playing 3 colors of mana, which is nice. The main ways that this deck is going to work, one of the premium ones is Giada here. We have 6 Angels in the deck, so 5 outside of Giada. So Giada is always going to be good on turn 2, Flying Vigilance, start chipping away at our opponent, and if we get really lucky, turn 2 Giada into turn 3 Inspiring Overseer or Celestial Regulator. Seems like a very quick way to win a game, so we could get lucky with that. Giada is also exceptional with Metropolis Angel, because we'll have counters on our angels, obviously, so we'll be drawing cards, plus she'll buff the angel itself. Metropolis Angel also drawing cards off backup agent is nice. Another way that this deck can work is our Rigo Streetwise Mentor, which we actually have a decent amount of ways to trigger this as well to consistently draw cards. Our backup agents can draw cards if they put a counter elsewhere. Broker's Initiate can draw cards. Sky Crier, Fairy Vandal can draw a card the first time it attacks. So Rigo's really nice in the deck. We even have the Exotic Pets. Exotic Pets is a really cool card in this deck because it has overlapping synergy with both Rigo and Giada. The synergy with Rigo is pretty obvious. Rigo comes with a shield counter, so you get a shield counter on one of your fish, and the fish are a really good way to consistently draw cards with Rigo's ability. And then the synergy with Giada is that if we've gotten a +1/+1 counter off of Giada's ability, then we get a +1/+1 counter off of a fish as well. So some really cool synergies there. It is a sealed deck though, so we do have to put some filler cards in here that don't really have any obvious synergies with anything else in the deck. Those filler cards are just our big stuff like Sir Crocodile, Speakeasy Server, Ballroom Brawlers. Gotta get something at the top end here. And then some very medium, very mediocre kind of interaction and removal here. We have a kill shot that doesn't do anything else for us on the aggressive, but it is a nice backup plan if our opponent gets a good threat down that they're slowly but surely killing us with. We have Rooftop Nuisance, which is pretty great. Slow down our opponent while we try to finish them off with our flyers. Make Disappear is a pretty nice counterspell. But then a couple more mediocre kind of filler cards here. Witness Protection, another way to potentially deal with a very big threat from our opponent. But it doesn't completely kill it. They do get to leave behind a 1/1, but hopefully we can just fly over that 1/1. And we're not worried about them being able to still have a chump blocker. And then we have Boon of Safety as well. This is a fine piece of interaction. It can stop like a destroy removal spell. Not good against -X though, but could potentially save a Giada or Rigo or even Fairy Vandal at an opportune time. So pretty solid deck here, pretty phenomenal mana base. If you look at the mana base here, it looks a little all over the place, but that's because we've got a bunch of good non-basic lands here. So we actually have 10 ways to get a white source out, 9 ways to get a blue source, and 6 ways to get a green source. So pretty consistent mana here for this 3-color pile. So without further ado, that's the deck we're going to be playing. Let's get into the gameplay, see how many gems we can take out of this Qualifier Weekend event. Oh my god, day 1 is best 2 out of 3. I didn't even know that. This is going to be a long one then. Pretty nice opening hand here. We pull out the white source for a turn 2 backup agent into turn 3 Celestial Regulator. Our opponent is on the play though, so it's not going to be the most aggressive start ever. Hypnotic Grifter is their first play. Now we've drawn a Plains. Do we have any double cards? We have Rigo could cost double white. Ballroom Brawlers cost double white, so I guess we still get a white source here. Turn 1. Thin our deck out and get 1 land out of there. Turn 1 Hypnotic Grifter, pretty great start from our opponent here. Broker's Hideout of their own, picks out a white source, and a turn 2 Expendable Lackey it is. I do expect to see a solid amount of brokers here. Not as much as you see in Draft. In Draft, you see maybe 50% brokers decks, because blue, white, and green are just by far the best colors in the format. In Sealed, you have less options, because you just have to go with whatever you open. But because there's so many good like blue, white, and green commons, I expect to see a lot of blue, white, and green. So here we're against Obscura. Turn 3 Inspiring Overseer is pretty great for our opponent here. But turn 3 Celestial Regulator is not bad at all. Doesn't really matter what we tap down because we can just block the Overseer anyway. But I guess I just tapped down the Overseer here. I suppose I could have tapped down the Hypnotic Grifter to get an attack in with Backup Agent here. But I could have just attacked with it anyway. I think I prefer holding it back. No, I probably should have just sent in for 2 damage there. I don't think they blocked there. But now I get to attack and draw a card with Metropolis Angel. If we want to do that. They can double block to kill it with their Grifter, or they can try to kill it with Initiate. Pretty okay with either of those circumstances. I don't think I want to attack with Regulator here, because we only get 2 damage in, whereas Regulator's kind of holding off 4 damage from coming our way. So they're going to go for the double block with the Lackeys, so we get those off the board. They can make the fish tokens, but then they're not casting anything from hand there. Oh my god, their sealed pool has 3 expendable Lackeys minimum. Oh wow. That is a very synergistic sealed pool from our opponent. 3 expendable Lackeys and a Rooftop Nuisance here. And the Inspiring Overseer, of course, being a #1 common in the set. I'm pretty worried about this matchup. Alright. Now what? We've got Giada, which is not bad. She taps for mana for Angels, but she can't tap the turn that we play her, so we can't play her and Paragon of Modernity. We could play her in Rooftop Nuisance, but we're not sacrificing something here. Probably just play a 3/3 flyer and gain 2 life here. Gain some life, get a flyer big enough to block all their threats. Utilize all our mana this way. Definitely have not played this game out ideally so far, but I think we'd be in a similar position either way. Should have attacked with the Backup Agent earlier in the game to actually get 2 damage in, and then maybe shouldn't have traded it into the Lackeys, but at some point you gotta deal with the Lackeys. We draw a card off Metropolis Angel from the attack, so it was probably worth it. So this is going to be Majestic Metamorphosis to turn one of these into a 4/4 and draw a card. Can I afford to not block here? If I don't block, they just deal 5 to me and then get 2 fish tokens or cast a 4-drop from their hand. If their 4-drop is a 3/4 flyer, it's going to be really bad for me. The 3 and a blue flyer in the format, I forgot its name. That is a 3/4 flyer. Call the bluff here. What else could it be outside of Metamorphosis to turn it into a 4/4? Could be Quick Draw Dagger, make it a first striker. That would also just kill my server and we would kill nothing. I don't think I can block here. I don't think I can assume that my opponent is bluffing. I kind of have to assume they've got it here. Aven Heart Stabber and a fish token. 6th mana, so we can cast Giada and Paragon of Modernity. Have a bunch of blockers up. Could cast Boon of Safety to scry one, get a shield counter on something, then attack with that card to draw a card off of Metropolis Angel. Don't really think I'm in a great position to be attacking, though, at 12 life. Giada Paragon seems fine. Wait, put a puzzle. For each angel you already control. Okay, well, maybe we are attacking. Maybe we try to turn this around real quick. Attack with Speakeasy Server at least. Don't think we attack with Regulator, because Regulator can block just as well as Speakeasy Server does. Or it does 1 less damage here. And Metropolis Angel and Giada don't block very well, because we don't really want them to die here. Alright, so just the fish token now. I guess now we have a 5/5 that calls their bluff. The 5/5 can beat Majestic Metamorphosis or Quick Draw Dagger. So I guess the problem here is if we attack with the 5/5, we're not blocking well. But if we go for a Rooftop Nuisance here, then it doesn't matter that we're not blocking well. We can cast Skycrier and go for the double Rooftop Nuisance. Not gaining any life, so we're taking a lot of damage here, but this does seem pretty good. Go for double Rooftop Nuisance. Drawn to a Ceremonial Groundbreaker. Not bad at all. Trample could be big. So what are we taking here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 minimum. If they have a Metamorphosis, that turns into 7? It turns into 8. It's an extra 3 damage because they turn a 1 into a 4. Turns into 8. We're still at 3 life. We could maybe attack out here because Giada's vigilant. But if we attack with Metropolis Angel, it dies. We can Boon of Safety it, though. Yeah, Vigilance on Giada makes me think an attack out here is not bad. They'd have to have, like, 2 Majestic Metamorphoses to kill me on the Crackback. And this gets a pretty good Boon of Safety down. Fake Your Own Death was the trick that they had. So they'll mill 2 and draw a card. Correct? That's what happens when that dies? Yeah, they'll mill 2, then draw a card, and they'll still have that on the board, so that might actually become bigger here, which could be a problem. Okay, it does not. They did not get the 5 different mana values they need to make this a 3/3 Death Touch, which is nice, because that would definitely help them find lethal out of nowhere this turn. If they don't find lethal this turn, Ceremonial Groundbreaker makes it very, very likely we kill them on our next turn. Just conniving with the Grifter makes me think that, yeah, there's the concession. Our Flyers gonna get there with that late Rooftop Nuisance. Very nice stuff. So this is a matchup where Witness Protection's great, and it shuts off a Flyer. It's not bad at all. Getting rid of flying. Security Bypass is kind of whatever. Case of Joints, whatever. In green, High-Rise Sawjack, but we just have regular Flyers to block their Flyers. If we had like a Nightclubber in black, we could like cut green and try to splash black instead, go for a Nightclubber to get rid of all the fish and expendable lackeys and all that, but we don't have a Nightclubber in the sealed pool. That would have been pretty cool. Nightclubber's a 3 mana 2/2 that gives everything -1/-1 when it comes in, so it's very good against fish and citizens and stuff. I don't actually think we really have a sideboard for this. This matchup. Like, our only main sideboard thing would be maybe we want to play another Witness Protection, which I'm not super sure about. One of is probably fine here. Boon of Safety works great here, because we're going to have our Flyers clinging against each other. Yeah. Run it back. Game 2. Ooh. If we hit a white source, turn 3 Inspiring Overseer is our best turn 3 play in the deck, really. I mean, if we hit any land, we're on the draw here. We need to hit 1 land and then we're gravy. We can cast everything this hand as soon as we draw just 1 more land. Alright, would I rather Cabaret Courtyard here so I can still play a 2-drop? I feel like I have to still play a 2-drop. This thins 1 single land out of our deck, so it does make it slightly less likely we draw land. But we still have 2 more draw steps to hit our land, so I think it's probably fine. Uh-oh, we've got 1 more draw step to draw the land. But we have 2 Overseers now if we do get it. Shattered Seraph is getting exiled onto a swamp from our opponent. There's the land. That is beautiful. So we can Inspiring Overseer here, but we could also Celestial Regulator. It's nothing we really need to tap down, though, so we probably just Inspiring Overseer. I'm going to go to combat first and see if I can get our opponent to fake their own death just to kill a backup agent or something. I don't think they would do that, and I guess that technically wouldn't be all that good for us because we still want that around for Metropolis Angel to draw cards. Alright, now Inspiring Overseer is just going to give us the gas we need to make it to this Metropolis Angel as well. This is a wonderful start now. We're going to draw so many cards. We're going to be that meme, the guy who's holding everything, he just can't hold it all. That's us with our value. You got it, down to 20. 4th mana from our opponent and an Aven Heartstabber is the play. No attacks from Inspiring Overseer then, but cast a Metropolis Angel, get an attacking with a backup agent. You gonna counter this? Disdainful Stroke. Okay, I was gonna say, I know they don't have Make Disappear because they would have 100% countered an Inspiring Overseer. So that's why I was so happy to just drop Metropolis Angel, because they had the mana up for Make Disappear last turn, but didn't do it. Nimble Arsonist, that's not that bad. Our strongest cards in hand are our creatures. I guess they get rid of Killshot here. It's the only card they can. It still is a good deal for them. It's kind of a reverse Inspiring Overseer. Instead of a 3-mana 2-1 that draws them a card, it's a 3-mana 2-1 that makes us discard a card. Hypnotic Grifter. And Broker's Hideout. Alright, so that's everything they've got. And we've still got more gas because Inspiring Overseer is just a nuts magic card. Do we lock down the Larcenist to keep getting in for damage? Or do we like just Witness Protection it? We might just Witness Protection it actually. Just hold up our 2/2 on blocks on the ground now. Should have used the blue mana there because I've got another blue source to play. I mean, they're 2 mana away from the Shattered Seraph. Do I have to hold on to Witness Protection for that? Wow, it might be better to do that. Yeah, they're going to take the trade here. Sure. Witness Protection is pretty good against a 4/4 flyer, so probably best to just hold it there. Rooftop Nuisance is a great top deck there. Lock down our board and draw 2, get them immediately back into the game. It was looking really good for us and really bad for them for a second there because they had 0 in hand, we had 4. But their draw for turn is going to draw 2 more here. Get them 1 more land closer to that Shattered Seraph. So that's definitely, well, it's probably coming down next turn. Ceremonial Groundbreaker, pretty bad without a green source. We're at 17 here. I'm not getting hit that hard. We probably just spend all our mana on the Sewer Crocodile rather than play Regulator. Still feeling pretty solid here. If they can't kill the Sewer Crocodile, we're probably dealing more damage to them than they are to us. But Hypnotic Grifter is getting them a lot of value here, letting them dig through the deck. Especially with their play set of Expendable Lackeys they opened up. And they drew into Murder immediately. So much for the Sewer Crocodile. Maybe we were supposed to just Witness Protection Hypnotic Grifter to get them to stop drawing cards. I mean, it's draw a discard. But they're a deck full of Expendable Lackeys, so that's pretty close to just draw a card. If they draw well, which they have been doing with the Lackeys. Send it in, down to 13. Broker's Initiate is the draw. Basically a 5/5 here. They're only 1 mana away from Shattered Seraph. Do I lock down Grifter? Do I hold on to Witness Protection to deal with the Seraph? I think I'm still just on the dealing with the Seraph plan, unfortunately. I could definitely see an argument for locking down Hypnotic Grifter. This game might have played out better if we did. Not sure. We're definitely not tapping down Grifter here. Tap down Heartstabber? Because they're 1 card away from it being a 5/5 Death Toucher. Plus it can block. Yeah. Rather tap that down than the fish, even though the fish is like definitely hitting us. If the Heartstabber hits us, it's going to be a lot more painful. Which it's not going to be that hard for it to do, so they just have to connive the correct card. So that would be like, if they don't draw a 7th land, they probably connive, and then Heartstabber potentially becomes a 3/3 Death Touch in the sky. The Shattered Seraph's going to be a really big deal, because even if I can get rid of it with Witness Protection, they're still going to gain life off of it. Corrupt Court Official. Well, goodbye card I can't cast, I think. We're going to immediately hit the green source. I think our board is big enough to close this game out without the Groundbreaker. Alright, Connive the Grifter. Discard a land, so they drew something very good if they discarded a land, because the land gets to the Seraph, or they're just playing around the protection. Oh, who would have guessed? Yeah, that's hilarious. I guess we hit for 4 in the sky here. I could attack with Broker's Initiate as well. If that thing hits them, it's 5. But it probably just kills Corrupt Court Official. If it kills Court Official, do they have 5 values? No, they already have a 2 in their grave. So you get another 2 in the grave. Heartstabber's still not active. I still feel like Initiate's probably got to be left to blocks here because they have such a good chump block for it. Such an easy chump block for it. I don't know though, like Backup Agent, the only thing that's hitting us on the ground is Hypnotic Grifter for 2 or 3. And it hits for 5 if it gets through, and they only have 1 chump blocker, so if we get rid of the chump blocker now, next turn they don't have a chump blocker for Initiate. I'm going to hold on to this forest in case they have another Corrupt Court Official here. Get rid of our Witness Protection. Because again, they're 1 mana from dropping a 4/4 flyer and gaining 3. Just stops all of our attacks. Inspiring Overseer's back. Apologies about the text, I'll deal with that in sideboarding, so I can edit it out. Rooftop Nuisance, let's go. I don't know why Arena does this, but it always sounds like 2 songs are playing at once on my screen. So, Rooftop Nuisance, what do we do? Do we sack the Backup Agent? Because it doesn't attack into Hypnotic Grifter ever, and it doesn't block it ever. Probably do, and then we see what we draw into here. Shut down the flyers. Botanical Plaza. And another land. Those are not good draws here. So we drop Botanical Plaza, hit for 4 in the sky. Yeah, it's the best we got here. This is unfortunate. If we just held on to Groundbreaker, we'd have lethal next turn. Really need to play around Corrupt Court Official if this goes to game 3. Because if we just had our 6th land in hand, it wouldn't have got us. But actually, we needed the 6th land to play Sewer Crocodile, so we could not have played against Corrupt. Could not have played around Corrupt Court Official this game anyway, because we had to cast a Sewer Crocodile. Okay, so it's Witness Protection time. Get their flyer out of the way, and then we drew into Giada, which is not bad. And we have the mana to buff the Broker's Initiate here. We're at 9 life. How do they crack back? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 if they have a spell there for Hypnotic Grifter. So maybe we don't attack with Broker's Initiate here. Man, the life gain off that Angels, it mattered a lot here. Feels really bold to attack all here. We probably play Giada and draw a card off Botanical Plaza, rather than attacking with Broker's Initiate and dumping our mana into that. Because we attack Broker's Initiate, maybe we kill Legitimate Business Person, but if we don't, then that probably means they just go Removal Spell, Connive, and we die. Like, Removal Spell or Rooftop Nuisance plus 1 Connive kills us. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's really risky. Three cards in hand here. We'll see what they have. Feels unlikely they have lethal immediately here. But they do have combat tricks in their deck. We know that they have Fake Your Own Death for 2. So it's going to be 2 extra damage. Yeah, Fake Your Own Death just kills us here, most likely. Rooftop Nuisance does too. I mean, it doesn't kill us immediately, like on board, but we don't win the game, I don't think. At least it's quite unlikely now. Does Buyer Silence hit the card types they need for the Aven card? Oh my god, it does. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that'll do it. Good couple of cards there. More land. Unfortunate. Alright, we're going to run it back again for game 3. Definitely on the play. This will be our first game on the play this round. And our first mulligan. Yeah, I mean, any land gets us to Rego, but really need the blue source here, and we're on the play, not on the draw. Gonna have to be a mulligan here. This hand's sweet. Overseer or Jewel Thief on 3. Get rid of Sewer Crocodile, I guess. Jewel Thief's probably a better turn 3 play against their deck. So they have plenty of their own flyers anyway, and this is going to trample over their stuff that are like 2/1s and 1/1s. I'm like, maybe we still just go for Overseer first just to draw a card and have more options as our turn 4 play, but Jewel Thief might just be the better threat. We'll see here. Ooh, now that I have a Fairy Vandal, I like playing Jewel Thief first, because Fairy Vandal gets to draw a card off, or it gets to get bigger off of our Inspiring Overseer. They have a Make Disappear in their deck we haven't seen yet. This really feels like it. They're holding on this Jewel Thief a long time here. Maybe it's a Shattered Seraph in hand and they're just a little busy right now. That's what I'm hoping for. I really don't want Jewel Thief to get countered, but I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world, because something's going to get countered no matter what if they have Make Disappear. Okay, we passed the turn. Not going to Witness Protection my own Jewel Thief here. Checking out their mana. It is Shattered Seraph in hand. They're just busy with something. I mean, it could be Make Disappear and Shattered Seraph, and they were legitimately thinking, but we'll see. Alright, super happy we went for that Jewel Thief here. Ooh, Rego. This is a little awkward. It's a little awkward here. I guess I can just play my own Inspiring Overseer. Because we'd like to hit another land here, so ideally we just draw a card right now. Now that we have Rego plus Fairy Vandal, we can just draw a card the second that Fairy Vandal attacks anyway. The first time, so we don't need to do the Fairy Vandal Inspiring Overseer thing. Because then Metropolis Angel Fairy Vandal just keeps going off in the future. I think we're on Inspiring Overseer here and see what we hit. Hopefully a land. Not a land. Not bad, though. Pass turn. We might Witness Protection and Overseer later once we have more flyers down. I don't think we're sacrificing our treasure token to do that currently, though. Because if that's the plan, we could just do it next turn anyway. It's not going to be relevant to do it right now. Unless we really want to stop them from hitting us. I'm not that worried, though. I think we have the better aggressive board, even with the small amount of mana. Expendable Lucky. If we make our Jewel Thief a 4/4 with Backup Agent, then they can only kill it double blocking with Obscure Initiate and Inspiring Overseer. That seems pretty good to me. I like the Backup Agent for a counter on Jewel Thief. Then next turn we get to play Rego and sacrifice our Backup Agent to draw a card. Feels pretty nice. Again, we're still pretty stuck on mana here, but we don't have a way to draw a card this turn. I could play Metropolis Angel without anything with a counter on it, or I could play Rego without any 1-power creatures, so we've got no option to draw a card here. I'm actually pretty into maybe sacrificing the treasure token to play a Fairy Vandal during their end step. That actually does seem kind of sweet. Sure, we're going to lock down our mana, but then with a Fairy Vandal on board, that's a way to draw a card off of Rego and attack with a 2/3 flyer. And if we hit a land here, we get to Witness Protection plus attack with this Fairy Vandal, which is phenomenal. We didn't hit a land here, though. So we go for the Rego, chump attack with Backup Agent so that Fairy Vandal doesn't die on the attack, I guess. Because then next time we attack with Fairy Vandal, if we have Metropolis Angel down, it becomes a 3/4 flyer, which kills both of their flying blockers. Deal gone bad. Well, Rego's just dead anyway. That sucks. Dang. Yeah, we didn't see that in any other games. We only saw murder. Rough. That is the ideal removal against shield counters. If I'm going to trade with a flyer, I'd rather do it while they can't get lifelink, but if I attack with this, we're just going to trade with their Overseer anyway. It does make their board smaller, so it's harder for them to get a good double block on Jewel Thief later. They're down to 11 here. Still not feeling great mana-wise, but I don't know, board state's not bad. They've got instant speed stuff here because they're not tapping out. Okay, they're tapping out. Nice, nice. Okay, that was the perfect time to draw this land because they've just basically tapped out. They don't have double blue or just 2 mana up for Disdainful Stroke, so we know Metropolis Angel gets to resolve. So we resolve Metropolis Angel, we get to attack with Jewel Thief, draw a card, and the only way they kill it is a double block. Now they can double block with Lackey and Metropolis Angel, which isn't horrible for them, but the attack's still really good for us because it's still a 2-for-1 because we're drawing a card, plus Fairy Vandal's getting bigger. So it's going to attack really well once we have Boon of Safety next turn. Yeah, this feels great. We trample over as well while we kill those cards. And because Fairy Vandal has the counter on it, now Fairy Vandal gets to keep triggering Metropolis Angel. It'll attack as a 3/4 flyer next turn. If our opponent hits another mana, they tap out for the Shattered Seraph, and we turn it into a 1/1 on the ground. Nice, we can deal with Midnight Assassin with Boon of Safety. Oh, this is looking up here. I'm into it. So we just keep attacking with Fairy Vandal to keep drawing cards. Block with the Midnight Assassin and Boon of Safety beats it. Scry that land to the top here, actually. Broker's Initiate doesn't do anything until we have 5 mana, and we've got a lot of restrictive stuff. We've got equip costs and all that. Definitely still need more lands here, even though we're already on 4. Now we can Exotic Pets to get a 2/2 unblockable and a 1/1 unblockable during their end step, plus we get to hold up kill shots. Yeah, this is a pass turn. Corrupt Court Official. It's nowhere near as nasty here as it was last time because we got 5 cards. You just discard Broker's Initiate this time, I think. Pretty far off from being able to dump 5 mana into that thing. Alright, they send in their fish. We're definitely not going to kill shot that. We're at 22. They don't have a Rego or anything to get value off it. Now here's our fish. 3 unblockable damage each turn while they're at 9. Seems very good to me. Ceremonial Groundbreaker. Not going to have the mana to equip it here. Because none of our... Well, we could equip it to our backup agent, I guess. Sounds like it might as well. No, we should wait till combat here and see what we draw into. Off of our 1 card draw. Another land. Okay, we're definitely playing a land now because we'll still have one for another Corrupt Court Official if that happens. And then, yeah, all we really have is we can equip a Groundbreaker or hold up a kill shot. We're at 21. I really don't think we need to hold up a kill shot. I mean, it could theoretically be worth it just to stop Obscure Initiate from gaining life. But that would cost them 2 of their mana, so they would just not cast Shattered Seraph instead. But they'd need to hit a land to cast one of these Seraphs. They did not hit a land, but they did hit Rooftop Nuisance. Rooftop Nuisance is really the card of the matchup here. That card has won us and lost us our first 2 games. Very, very strong stuff from that card, this matchup. So they still die if we just Witness Protection Initiate here. They've only got 1 card in hand that we don't know about. We know they only had Seraphs in hand until they drew off Rooftop Nuisance, so it's pretty unlikely they drew into something that makes this not work. So we just go for it. And then we can even just move the Groundbreaker to the fish, and they don't have a blocker for either. They need to be able to kill both of these. This way we don't have all our eggs in one basket where 1 removal spell stops us from killing them. It's got to be 2 removal spells. Out of the way. On the Groundbreaker, 4 damage, still lethal. Cool. So they did the out of the way on the Groundbreaker, said it was cheap enough so they could afford whatever they drew into. If they spent all of their mana to kill the fish, then they just died to the 3. So looked a little weird at first, but that was the only way they maybe get like a 2 mana out. So 1-0. We'll start off this event 2-1 in the first round. We're going to get 1,000 gems out of this no matter what. Pretty nice. Round 2 here. We've got the choice, so we'll definitely be on the play. I'm into this hand. Turn 1 Broker's Initiate, Spar's Headquarters tap turn 2, and then a turn 3 Celestial Regulator. I mean, we curve out with this hand, but it's some of our weakest cards. Broker's Initiate, Paragon, and Speakeasy Server are not the cream of the crop here. Definitely not worth a mulligan, though. We'll keep it. The mana's good, and we have a curve, even if it isn't the most threatening curve. Green and blue from our opponent, so very likely to be another Broker's deck. Since those are enemy colors, the only family in which they overlap is blue, white, and green, the Brokers. Gilded Pinions is a scary card with some of the big green beat sticks in the format, the big 6-mana 6/3s and stuff, and the Disciplined Duelists of the world. That's a relatively horrific card to see here. They give that flying, and they have a 2/1 double strike flying with a shield counter. It's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to outrace that. Well, Inspiring Overseer, then play the Plains, hold up Boon of Safety seems better than Paragon of Modernity. I mean, I guess it's only technically doing 4 a turn. The problem is if they're playing Duelist, they probably have ways to buff it. I mean, Duelist is a great card even if you don't have ways to buff it, but it does up the value of any combat tricks in your sealed pool, so it makes you more likely to want to play them. Ooh, green, blue, white, and red. So opponent has some good mana fix in their sealed pool. They decided to play some of their good off-color rares here. High-Rise Sawjack is going to be annoying for us to deal with. We don't have any 3-power flyers, so we're not going to kill that thing on attacks. I could Boon of Safety to get rid of a shield counter here, but then I still lose Overseer. Right? Like, I Boon of Safety on my Inspiring Overseer. It doesn't take the first strike damage, but then it still dies in regular combat damage, which means it'll be around for regular combat damage to get rid of the shield counter. I really don't think that's worth it, though. I think we just take 4. I could also Boon of Safety to just stop all the damage with Broker's Initiate and keep the Broker's Initiate on board. Also doesn't seem super worth it. Ooh, Witness Protection. That's actually a really hard choice. We can Witness Protection Sawjack, so we get to keep attacking in, or we can Witness Protection Duelist, so that is just a 1/1 with a shield counter on it. Don't have to worry about the double strike anymore. I've got some life gain on Speakeasy Server. I have more flyers to keep playing. This is probably wrong, but I'm feeling aggro today. I am feeling aggressive. I just want to jam in. The biggest reason that I feel like trying to be aggressive in here is probably going to work better than just shutting off Duelist is because we know they're 4 colors, which means we know that they're splashing in colors for big bombs. So like the longer this game goes on, the longer they have to draw other bombs, and they probably have other threatening creatures that are going to be just as bad for us as Duelist soon enough anyway. I don't know. Backup Agent makes that pretty bad, because now Duelist is hitting for 6 each time. Pretty horrific. We're taking it here. They still don't have a way to block our flyers. Make Disappear's not horrible, but we can't really afford it here, so I guess it kind of is a useless draw right now. I don't know, I just think in the world where we Witness Protection the Duelist, like, we wouldn't have hit them at all yet still this game. And then now they have a Darling in the Masses out. Throw Opinions on the Darling. Still have another flying blocker. I don't know. I just do not know. So now that Disciplined Duelist is a 4-power creature, because for some reason this incredibly skilled fighter is just a citizen and not a soldier or anything. Now that Darling of the Masses is out, because it's a citizen, it's got 4 power, so Boon of Safety isn't even gonna save anything anyway, so it's gonna be a chump whether or not we boon, so we might as well just chump here. Now we have Make Disappear and Boon of Safety, and that's it. And if we attack all, we just die on the crackback. Because the Darling of the Masses is about to start going nuts. Start 11. When we can kill them in 2 attacks. If they get too greedy here, it's possible that we can find a win. I feel like this is the only way we potentially win, is we do this and then attack all next turn. We just have to find a way to survive with just 1 blocker, which is possible. If I just hold everything back, then our board is just slowly but surely getting wrecked by Disciplined Duelist. That is unfortunate for us because they have the mana up to give something flying with pinions. So if they choose to do that post-combat, or if they just choose to do that to have another blocker so that they won't die on the crackback, then we just lose. But if they get greedy with it and they put it on something to get more aggressive, to where they're like, oh, they're dead on board, I'm good, then they're all set. I guess we could have Make disappeared so that they wouldn't have the mana for Gilded Pinions. Shoot. Oh no! Oh my god, that's a big punt. I was like, well, we don't Make disappear because they can just pay for it, but if we Make disappear, they can't afford pinions. So then all we have to do is survive this combat and we win. Oh, I should have Make disappeared. Oh, I was so instinctual to just be like, yeah, we don't do it. We don't do it here. I just punted this game away because now they just throw the pinions onto a 1/1 and we lose unless they unless we top deck a way to deal with it. We're taking 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have to chump block one of these and Boon of Safety. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, well, I could have won the game off of Make disappear there. Or I don't think I could have won, actually. If our opponent realized what I was trying to do, they would just not pay for it, and then they'd still have pinions to put on their citizen. Okay, so it's not the biggest punt in the universe, because our opponent could have played around it. But it's still a punt. But yeah, our opponent could just play around it and be like, okay, well, I won't pay the 2, so I can just pinions this 1/1. So let's Boon of Safety here to scry 1, try to dig into a way to deal with that 1/1. That's definitely not it. Dang it. That feels really bad. We probably wouldn't win here because we are against smart competition. We're against fierce competition, like top 200 Mythic or players that won the play-in. So we probably Make disappear and they realize what we're doing and they hold up Gilded Pinions anyway. They just let Facebreaker go to the grave. But that would have been a much better line than what I went for. Should have just not... I mean, I should have just done that instead of not doing it. Yeah, most likely either way we don't find the win here, because they most likely see what we're doing and just hold on to their Plains plus Treasure to put pinions on the 1/1 that comes out of the Darling of the Masses. That's rough. We had a lot of outs we could draw into, like Rooftop Nuisance, Backup Agent, stuff like that. I guess Backup Agent just deals 5 to them, so it doesn't work. Alright. Really rough one there. Really wish I cast the Make disappear just to see what would happen. We potentially win that game if they misplay in response to our Make disappear. God, that pinions is a problem for us. We don't have any way in our sideboard to get rid of it, though. Don't have any artifact or enchantment deletion. Don't really think we have any sideboard against this deck at all. We can play another Witness Protection because we know they have ridiculous creatures like Disciplined Duelist. Dang. Oh, that game was so close. I think it actually did end up being... I mean, it ended up working out, maybe even being correct that I witness protection the reach creature and not the duelist. I just needed to play better afterwards and cast that make disappear, hope my opponent plays worse. What are we putting witness protection in here over? Broker's Initiate did a whole lot of nothing, and that's what it usually does. Paragon of Modernity feels too slow for this matchup, though. Also, yeah, Broker's Initiate, Paragon of Modernity, something like that. Maybe Boon of Safety. We're not getting into combat super often. At least our creatures aren't really touching each other super often. I'll drop a Boon here. Unfortunately, now our opponent's going to be on the play. So they are at the advantage now. Oh wait, no, they're not. I'm going to be on the play. I forgot it's loser's choice. It doesn't flip every time. It's random the first time, then it's loser's choice. Okay, so we drew Broker's Initiate into Giada. Giada with backup agent here. I'll keep it. We play Spara's Headquarters turn 3, so we can curve out here. Ooh, Rigo. Now I wish I just played Headquarters turn 1. Never didn't have it. Rigo's coming out anyway. We're drawing cards. Let's go. Let's go. This is a start. Broker's Initiate into Giada into Rigo, and now Broker's Initiate puts in work, drawing us cards with Rigo's ability. So our opponent here is Brokers with the red as the splash for something. I think we saw Strangle last game, maybe? Opponent is in the think tank here on turn 3. 6 cards in hand, 3 mana up. Disciplined Duelist is back. It's back for more. So they've drawn into it both games. Maybe they have 2 in their deck. That'd be insane, but it's possible. Tap Giada for Angel mana, so post-combat we can do that, and we have 5 mana up so that we can play Inspiring Overseer and a backup agent. So we can play backup agent first, buff Giada, get in for more damage in the sky. Chump attack with Broker's Initiate. If we make Broker's Initiate a 1/5, then it gets rid of a counter on Disciplined Duelist on an attack. Actually, it just doesn't die on the attack. They just choose to block with Informant then. Is that better than putting a counter on Giada to get extra damage in? Maybe? Because we're going to have other threats in the sky. And just kind of stacking everything all onto one. Yeah, I kind of like backup agent for a counter on Broker's Initiate here, weirdly enough. So Broker's Initiate only dies here if they double block. And if they double block, I pop off the Duelist counter. Alright, it's not bad. We have a backup agent to chump attack with now. We've gotten rid of a shield counter here. We're just drowning in value from Rigo and Inspiring Overseer type plays. Could even probably cycle this Headquarters later now. Nope, my bad. Good old fountain drinks. Just being loud as hell. Ledger Shredder, that's a legacy playable. Get out of here. Alright, well. Goodbye shield counter. Say goodbye to Informant. blue-green-white here. I feel like their removal to kill Rigo, they play a fight spell now. This doesn't seem bad to me, but maybe it is. I don't know. I'm taking the trade. Shield counter for Informant. Jewel Thief is the draw. Now I want to play Spara's Headquarters, and there's not a huge reason not to do so, because the only thing we're holding up is Make Disappear anyway. Yeah. 3/2 flyer attacks into the 1/3 flyer. 2/2 flyer attacks in and just gets blocked. We could sack Backup Agent to draw a card here. I think we have plenty of action here, and I like having it around for Make Disappear, but Rigo might die next turn. This is kind of our last opportunity to draw a card off of it. I feel like Make Disappear counters most scary cards now anyway. Let's draw a card off Backup Agent here. 3/2 on the 1/1 to be expected. We're down to 13. So there we just make the choice. We just go sack a creature, draw a card. Another attack in. They hit for 7 here. We trade off Rigo into Informant now that we don't have a 1-power creature anymore. If we draw cards that make fish, we're pretty sad, but that's about it. Most everything else that we have at this point is like a 2/1, like Inspiring Overseer is here. Okay, so I can Jewel Thief and Overseer. Then I don't have the mana for Make Disappear. But they're good cards to put on the board. If our opponent plays 2 spells here, they connive. I actually don't want to cast 2 spells, so maybe I'm playing Sewer Crocodile. I'm probably just going in with Inspiring Overseer, seeing what happens, and then post-combat playing another. Do they have 2 spells here? Well, I guess they just have 1 combat trick. Most Wanted. So we just counter that, and then we kill Ledger Shredder. Yeah, that's great. Good stuff for Make Disappear. Because now we're open to casting 2 spells in 1 turn without worrying about making their stuff bigger, and Inspiring Overseer is going to be quite big here because of Giada. Yeah, that's wonderful. Then we threaten a white mana for like a Boon of Safety or something. Jewel Thief. Backup Agent? God. They must have like 2 Disciplined Duelists, because this really feels like a Disciplined Duelist deck if they're running cards like Most Wanted for +2/+1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in the sky. There's Witness Protection. But we already have Rooftop Nuisance, which is got to do plenty of work here. Yeah, we probably just don't sack something. We just single Rooftop Nuisance, shut off Duelist. We've got Witness Protection if we need it in the future. 2 attacks here is going to find the win. Disgusting stuff from Giada there for us. That's going to be 1-1 in round 2. So we head into the tiebreaker game. Our opponent will be on the play this time. Has anything that we saw there really changed things? I really like Make Disappear in this matchup, that's for sure. I've got double Rafine's Informant, Backup Agent. They've got a very good deck. The Informant's the Backup Agent, Jewel Thief, Disciplined Duelist. They probably have 2 Duelists because we saw them twice and they're running Most Wanted. I mean, I guess it's possible they just have 1 and they just... Most Wanted is just like a combat trick most of the time. Just got Ledger Shredder. I think that we're running it back. Yeah, I think I'm going for it here. Game 3 of round 2. Opponent is on the play and a snap keep of their opening 7. That's really threatening, but our opening 7's pretty great too. Let's see what they've got here. It's got a witness protection to deal with a duelist if it's going to be turn 3 duelist 3 games in a row. Ledger Shredder turn 2's pretty nasty too, but so's turn 2 Giada. Okay, Jewel Thief, so no turn 3 Disciplined Duelist. Do we want to just shut off Ledger Shredder then so we can start getting in the sky? Cast our 2 options are we cast our own Jewel Thief, or we've got a lot of options because Giada taps for the angels. We actually probably just cast an angel here, don't we? Yeah. I think we cast probably Paragon this turn because we're less worried about that dying to removal. And then next turn, we have the mana to cast Metropolis Angel and Witness Protection, potentially. I guess that's only if we hit another blue source, so we should probably just play Metropolis Angel here. And they can only really kill one of our cards. They kill either Giada or Metropolis Angel if they have removal. So I think Metropolis Angel's the play. I wanted to go Paragon here because we have the chance of playing Angel plus Witness Protection next turn, but we have the guarantee of playing Paragon plus Witness Protection if they don't use removal next turn. Darling of the Masses, they didn't use removal, but Witness Protection is pretty bad against Darling of the Masses. But Paragon of Modernity is going to be massive here. We're going to draw a card off Metropolis Angel. Giada is going to be untapped as a blocker, but that's not going to matter. That's not going to block those well. Yeah, we're on Witness Protection into Paragon of Modernity. We play Witness Protection because if we don't, they're going to start conniving all the time here. And this flyer is going to be way too big to deal with, plus it's going to set up their draws. So attack both because that one's Vigilance and this one draws us a card by attacking. Draw another Witness Protection. That can be a way to deal with that Darling of the Masses. Stop giving their citizens the buff, which is pretty important here. And we play a massive Paragon of Modernity as a 4/4. Another Darling of the Masses. Wow, what a deck here from opponent. And what a way to use the citizens off Witness Protection. I mean, we're doing 10 damage in the sky here. If they don't kill us real quick, like, we're set. So we just play Jewel Thief and Witness Protection, one of the Darling of the Masses. Probably just see what we draw here. Like, we're attacking all, because they're not gonna do 18 to us through a Witness Protection here. Kill shot. We're just on a Witness Protection kill shot instead. Yeah, they're really likely to die even if we don't play another creature here. Like, Jewel Thief isn't really going to add more damage to them because they've got a Vigilant creature. Gilded Pinions, so they're going to have a blocker next turn, but they need 2 of them. Because if one of these gets through, we kill them. High-Rise Sawjack, that's potentially 2 of them, but they only have 1 mana to equip the Pinions. They need 2. And there's the concession. They can only block 1 flyer. We get in there 2 and 1. We win 2 in a row there thanks to just drawing Giada in those important games. Very disgusting things from Giada and the Angels deck in general. And that'll be 3,000 gems as the reward. That's what I'm talking about, where they escalate here. We start with 500, then 1,000. Now we're at 3,000 gems as our reward, no matter what. Super happy with this. Even if we just go 2 and 2, that'll be an average run, and we get a nice hearty amount of gems here. So let's see what happens as we head into round 3. Round 3 now. Opponents on the play. So we're on the draw. Is this a keep on the draw? If we hit any land, we can cast Celestial Regulator. If we hit a white or green source, we can cast Rego. and Celestial Regulator. I don't know, the hand's really, really slow. So if we stumble on land drops here, it's going to be bad, because we've got a 4-drop in hand and a 6-drop, plus the equipment. It's going to cost us mana to suit it up on things. I feel like we have to mulligan here, because it's one of those hands where not only do we have to hit a land, we need to hit a specific one. Because if we just hit an island here, we're pretty dead in the water. Because we can't cast Rego off of a plains and 2 islands. Yeah, let's mulligan here, unfortunately. It's a lot better mana-wise, but we have no actual plays. This is not a good hand, but this isn't worth a mulligan to 5 because we have perfect mana here. We just have to rely on our card draws to give us our early game plays, which is not a place you want to be. We're just relying on RNG here. This is just very marginally better than the first hand, I think. Might not even be. We're probably getting rid of the Sewer Crocodile because it's such a late game play. Let's see what we've got. Broker's Initiate, turn 1 from our opponent. We've got a Ballroom Brawlers for turn 5, so we will just go ahead and play Spar's Headquarters. Gives us a green source, and we're definitely going to play our lands all the way up until at least turn 5 here. So we already have double white thanks to Spar's Headquarters. But I don't need another green source, so I'd probably just take another white source here. White is the most prominent color in our deck. We need double white for Ballroom Brawlers, but again, Headquarters makes sure we've got that already. Backup Agent turn 2 for a counter on the Broker's Initiate. So they're getting in here. We do draw a Sky Crier, which is not perfect because it is a 2-drop on turn 3, but it's actually pretty good here because of our Ceremonial Groundbreaker in hand. We have a really good turn 4 play now, where we get to play our Groundbreaker and equip it to the Sky Crier, and just from lifelink, we really win the race here. Although now drawing an Inspiring Overseer, I'm pretty tempted to play that instead. Would I rather deal 3 to them and gain 3 life, or draw a card and gain 1 life and deal 1 to them? I guess I gain 2 and draw a card. I think I'd rather Inspiring Overseer here. Giada is the draw. Unfortunate to draw that after casting an Angel, but still a good draw. So I guess it would have worked better if we just played the Groundbreaker. Because then we would have drawn Giada before we cast Inspiring Overseer. They're going to keep hitting us for 2. I'm pretty confident with our amount of life gain here that we don't need to be blocking any of this, taking any bad trades. Ooh, Rego is a wonderful draw as well with the Sky Crier. Again, I think I'd rather be drawing cards than doing a little bit more damage. Maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong here because our opponent is a little stuck on mana, but the Jewel Thief does really get them out of that, so they're probably playing a lot of stuff. Yeah, let's make sure we're drawing a lot of cards. Last turn, maybe I should have went for the Groundbreaker and just tried to pressure them while they were stuck on mana, but now that they've played Jewel Thief, they got 3 mana plus a treasure token here. I think we're trying to draw as many cards as possible and win the value game. And great to draw land here so we can cast Giada as well. That was an excellent draw. Surprise fight Jewel Thief for Giada here. Or a Bouncer's Beatdown or something. They're reading their Jewel Thief and their Giada a lot, so I'm assuming it's something involving those 2 cards. Alright, get in there, Jewel Thief. Ceremonial Groundbreaker is actually a lot worse now that we have Rego out. Oh, they're going to prize fight the Sky Crier so we don't draw cards off of Rego anymore. Smart move. Smart move, because Giada's like the really obvious target most people would take. Luckily, we just draw exotic pets because we, never didn't have it. I think we are just holding on to exotic pets here. And not playing anything this turn, really. Just going to play the pets to draw cards off Rego and deal extra damage to our opponent. I do have to get a little bit worried about crackbacks now. Not that worried, though. Yeah, I don't have any lifelink anymore. They have the 5 mana for Broker's Initiate now. That can hit us for 6. But if they dump all their mana into that, we know they're not doing anything else, so. Yeah, no blocks. See if they want to do 9 damage to us here. Dump all their mana away. Nope, just 4 damage down to 13. Speakeasy Server, that is great here. They're going to gain 4 life and get a flyer that's bigger than all of ours. So we're definitely on Rooftop Nuisance now. We're probably going to sacrifice the fish that does not have a shield counter on it. Okay. So we Rooftop Nuisance to tap down their flyer and their Jewel Thief or their Broker's Initiate. Probably the Jewel Thief, because they've got to dump mana into Initiate and it doesn't have trample. So we Rooftop Nuisance, Casualty 1, tap the flyer, sacrifice the fish that does not have a shield, tap the Jewel Thief, draw 2 cards here. We get to hold up a Kill Shot or Fairy Vandal now. We attack with our flyers and our fish and see what we draw into. Am I worried enough about a crackback to hold back Inspiring Overseer at this point? No, because Rigo just blocks their 3-2. Their 1-1 gets in and we blow up Broker's Initiate, so we take 1 damage on the crackback. Yeah, we're not that worried. Attack all. Another land for us. Cool. And we pass the turn now. Kill Shot if we need to, and if we don't, we Fairy Vandal. Darling of the Masses is coming down. Would love a counterspell here, but we do not have one, so that's just going to come down, buff most of their field, and spit out a 1-1 every time it attacks. Very threatening card. Get in with the 2-5 Broker's Initiative. We know they don't have the mana to buff it now, so we're probably on Fairy Vandal here. We just take the 2. Use the Kill Shot next turn. If we can't find lethal, which I don't think we can. Backup Agent is the draw. Maybe we can. We're going to hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is not 13. 8, 9, 10. 10 is also not 13, so we're not going to find lethal here. We're definitely going to play Backup Agent because it's going to chump block and it's going to buff our creatures here. We're probably putting a counter on Giada so we get to hold a 3-3 flyer back because of the Vigilance, so that we have a creature to block their 4-3 flyer if need be. Yeah, and we're going to Backup Agent pre-combat, but everything else we want to do post-combat because we want to see what we draw into. We definitely kill them in 2 attacks. We don't need the Groundbreaker out right now to kill them in 2 attacks. Speakeasy Server. We might be playing that because we're gaining a lot of life off that. But we're not holding up Kill Shot if we do. Which I'm not in love with. Yeah, I'm not in love with not holding up Kill Shot mana, but gain 6 life. I mean, what are they going to do to kill us? Luxurious Libation? We can just play around that? Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be Speakeasy Server. Go to 17. Now we get to block their Speakeasy Server with our Speakeasy Server. We don't even have to put Giada in danger anymore. Yeah, so they're going to try to, like, Luxurious Libation us for lethal. Our tapped creatures alone can kill them thanks to Ceremonial Groundbreaker, so we can put everything under the line of fire here to play around combat tricks. Two, three, four, five, six. 6 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't see how this turns into lethal. I feel like even if we block Darling in the Masses, I don't see how this turns into lethal. Or if I'm going to block a 2-power, I might as well block one I can kill. What is there in this form? There's like +3/+3 to everything. They deal 5. +6. Yeah, it's not lethal. Hoping this is like a desperation flunge here. We'll figure out what this trick is. And I guess if the trick isn't going to win them the game, we probably don't get to see it, because they probably just scoop here rather than give us that information. So I guess we hope that they don't show us the trick then. Because if they show us the trick, that means they think they have a chance here, which is not good. What's going on with the rope here? Did Arena glitch on me? I might need to reboot Arena. I'm going to reboot Arena here. I'm very worried. Getting back into the game, see what happens. Alright, we're back in. Oh, sure enough. Okay, no, we're just waiting on them. Okay. Waiting for the server. Okay, alright, look, there it goes. There it goes. Luxurious Libation. Not lethal. That got me all stressed out. It was giving me no indicator that they were under... Oh my god, is that lethal for the family? No. Okay, good lord. Alright, they're at 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We lethal them here. Yeah, we lethal them here. They're tapped out. I want to be extra safe. They're tapped out. We hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, don't play anything else. Don't give them more information. So now we know what we need to be playing around in the future. They have For the Family and Luxurious Libation. For the Family is a really hard card to play around, though. It's a single green mana for +4/+4 most of the time. Alright. Luxurious Libation, For the Family. And that's game 1 in our favor, though. We'll celebrate a little bit now. I'm gonna stop just freaking out here. Okay, so... Didn't seem like they had a lot of flyers. I don't think Witness Protection is like super necessary here, because the best thing it does is stop a reach creature or flyer. I actually kind of just like our main deck against their deck. So I think I'm gonna run it back here. Round 3, game 2 now. This is a hand that I maybe shouldn't keep, but I am going to. I'm on the draw here, and any land gets us into Inspiring Overseer and lets us cast the entire hand. We have all 3 colors of mana off of just these 2 lands. I'm gonna keep this hand here. We have multiple plays, even if we don't draw land. We have 3 cards we can cast. This is a 2-lander, I think that it's reasonable to keep. Unlike some of the other ones we've seen, we had to mulligan. Drawn to another backup agent, so another 2-drop. Double white will start things for our opponent. Rafine's Informant, pretty great start here. Draw a card and discard a card. If they discard a non-land, it'll be a 3-2, but they did not, so just a 2-1. Rooftop Nuisance is our draw. Well, even though that is a non-land card, at least it's only a 3-drop. Do we play a 2-mana 2-2 here and just trade it with their Informant, or do we play Initiate? I think we play Initiate, because creating a 1-5 here is going to be pretty powerful. If we get stuck on mana, it's a much better way to use these next 2 turns than just playing 2 2-mana 2-2s. Or a 2-mana 3-3 and a 2-mana 1-1. But yeah, having a 1-5 and a 1-1, pretty good board state against a 2-1 from our opponent. And we did not hit a land, so we get to go ahead and just do that. Or we could hold up the Make Disappear, which I'm always bad at knowing when the opportune time to do that is, but I think we're going to have to wait till late game here because we need to draw into stuff. That being said, another backup agent isn't going to change things much here, so I guess I'm holding up Make Disappear. It's going to be an awkward game. Both players look to be pretty stuck on mana here. They just skip their turn 3, we skip our turn 3. There's a backup agent from our opponent, make their own 1-5. And there's a green source. That is going to get things really going for us. We drop Inspiring Overseer here because it draws us a card, gets us toward another potential land, and puts a threat on the board that can start attacking in, and Giada's the draw afterwards, which is phenomenal. Okay, so now we can Giada and hold up a Make Disappear. Is that our best play? I think it probably is. It's the safest play. Could also just cast Paragon of Modernity, but I'd rather play that after Giada's out. Could cast Exotic Pets. What if I wait till I have 5 mana? I can do that, plus Backup Agent, or that, plus Make Disappear. So I think I'm on Giada here. Pass. Alright, there's the 4th mana for our opponent, and that will give them all 3 of their colors for Cabaretti. Still no turn 4 play, though. So we did not draw a card here, though, which is a bit sketch. Or we didn't draw land here, so we can't do Exotic Pets plus Hold Up, Make Disappear. I guess we could have done Backup Agent, Hold Up, Make Disappear. So Swooping Protector? Okay, so we just Make Disappear right now. And we don't have to worry about holding it up ever in the future. Cool. So I guess that means we're just on Backup Agent now. Actually, no, we're on Celestial Regulator. I forgot Giada adds mana for Angels. Yeah, we're 100% on Regulator. Lock down the 1-5, I guess. Doesn't really matter. They're all just ground troops. We're just going to keep slapping in the sky. Celestial Regulator is a 4-5 because we have 2 Angels out. Yep, Prize Fight to trade Informants for Giada. Makes a lot of sense here after you see something like a 4-5 Celestial Regulator come down. And then Broken Wings to kill it. Opponent definitely had the sideboard for our deck, but we're still doing great because of cards like Inspiring Overseer, drawing a card every time we do something. We still have the better board state and more cards in hand than our opponent. So still feeling pretty gravy here. We don't have 2 white sources, so we can't play Exotic Pets and Backup Agent here. So would I rather just play Exotic Pets or play Paragon of Modernity? Actually, probably rather play Exotic Pets, because that's going to put 3 unblockable power on the board instead of just 2, and this one will have to dump a bunch of mana into it to make it keep getting bigger, and we've got plenty of other spells to play, so we don't really want to spend all of our mana just making a Paragon of Modernity a bit better. I think I'd rather play 2 unblockable fish here. Okay. Speakeasy Thingy-mabob. We'll gain them a couple life here. Sewer Crocodile is the draw. Again, with only 1 white source, we can't go Backup Agent and Groundbreaker, but we can Backup Agent and Rooftop Nuisance and just keep hitting pretty hard here. Make both of our unblockable cards 2/2s. That seems pretty gas. Draw 2 cards in the process. Metropolis Angel is one of those cards, which is beautiful. Attack all, trade backup agents here, deal a bunch of damage. Opponent's down to 8. Rock's Pummeler is the play. Big scary card here that we can't tap down anymore, but we've got all this unblockable stuff. They're just going to scoop them up here because we just attack all of our unblockable stuff, put them to 2 life. We even have the Ceremonial Groundbreaker for lethal. So that would probably be our line this turn, just play Groundbreaker and equip. I guess it would have to go on a Citizen because we need 3 mana to equip, and our land for turn comes into play tapped. So our play this turn's probably, it's between Speakeasy Server and Metropolis Angel. And because we already have 21 life, we just play Metropolis Angel, attack with all these, draw a card, and have way lethal in the sky next turn. Yeah, so concession from our opponent, that's going to be 2-0, and in the rounds, we are 3 wins and 0 losses so far. And that is going to be a lot of gems, I think. We're locked in for at least 5,000 gems of rewards. Here we are in round 4 now. Bit of an awkward hand, a green-white hand, but Skycrier and Groundbreaker work really well together. It's also pretty flooded. Like, if we don't draw non-lands, we're in a bad spot. But, oh, I hate mulliganing. This is probably a bad idea, but I'm on the keep here. We have Cabaret Courtyard. This is going to thin... Our deck has 6 less lands in it now, so it just has 11 lands in the deck out of these 32 cards. That's like 1 out of 3. So 2/3 of the cards we draw here are going to be non-lands. And literally any non-lands in our deck are good here because we're going to have the mana for anything. Inspiring Overseer is a beautiful turn 3 play. It's the best turn 3 play in our deck, and Groundbreaker turn 4 to equip to Skycrier is going to be nice. So, yeah, I like it. Things are working out with the hand so far. Ooh, and Exotic Pets as well. Yeah, things are working very well here, I think. Inspiring Seer of their own. Ceremonial Groundbreaker does not add enough toughness to beat the Overseer, but we can trample over and gain a little bit of life here if we want. But yeah, it only adds 1 toughness. It's not great. Maybe we're just on Exotic Pets, but the fish aren't going to have any counters on them right now anyway. I don't know, I'm all for trampling in. Getting an extra damage here. Trade Overseers, leave the Skycrier? Nope. Kill the Skycrier. They were considering, they're like, well, Overseer does a little more damage because it has 2 power instead of 1 once I start moving the equipment around. And it'll stop 1 more point of damage by blocking there as well. But they still want to kill the Skycrier because lifelink's a pretty big deal. Plus it has the secondary ability that might come into play. So blue, white, green, and red from my opponent. Cabaretian Brokers together. Backup Agent now. We've drawn it just before our Exotic Pets, so that is pretty perfect. Because now we can Backup Agent for a counter onto Overseer, and Exotic Pets in their end step to get 3 unblockable power on the board instead of 2. So pretty nice that we held on to the Exotic Pets there. Our opponent is going to know exactly what's coming if they think about it, though, because we chose not to equip Groundbreaker for some odd reason when we had the mana to equip it to either one of our creatures. Rigo. That's annoying. Draw a card every time they attack with a 1 power or less creature. With Expendable Lackey out, they're going to get a fish token after that dies, so they're guaranteed to do that every single turn, but at least we get to kill the Lackey without losing a creature. But yeah, then they're just going to get a fish token. I guess they don't have the blue source to do that yet. So maybe they won't get a fish. They need to draw into a blue source to get a fish and draw more cards off Rigo. Alright, another land for us. White source is better than green, or blue here. Equip onto a fish, and then we equip onto the Backup Agent post-combat. I guess it literally does not matter what we equip to pre-combat. Only matters that we just move it back. They're at 6. I mean, they just die next turn if they don't kill any of our evasive threats. They did get the blue source to make a fish. Three, 4, 6, 7, 8. I was about to see what our odds of another land are at this point. I think we're still at like 2/3 non-land. So as I say, if they have removal here, we could run out of gas, and that could be a problem because we don't have any more action in hand. But luckily for us, no removal. That's going to be game 1 in our favor. Another matchup that I'm pretty happy with our just base deck against. I'm just so used to best of one that I build these main decks that are like a little bit hedged to where they have a couple options against pretty much every kind of thing. So I just feel like every time I run up against a deck, I'm like, yeah, I'm just pretty much have a deck that's already mildly pre-sideboarded. Excuse me. Yeah, we did not see anything all that crazy from our opponent. Like, Rigo's good, but we don't have anything to deal with Rigo. I guess Witness Protection. Could run the second Witness Protection. That's really it in our sealed pool. Is there anything we have that's really bad against our opponent? Not particularly. Broker's Initiate, again, just isn't great. Feels like the weakest card in our deck most of the time. I don't think we've had enough. We've had the time or the mana to buff that like once. Maybe we did it one time. Just pretty happy with this pile. Maybe Boon of Safety. Again, creatures weren't really colliding with each other. They were just slipping right past each other. And we didn't see any removal from our opponent yet. This might not have enough removal where we really need... Why can't I see my sideboard? Oh, there we go. May not have enough removal where we need Boon of Safety. This might be a little weird. I'm going to go for double Witness Protection over one Witness Protection, one Boon of Safety. We'll see. You gotta love how this is the second highest competition limited event I've played of Streets of New Capenna. The highest was the Arena Open. Playing more copies of Witness Protection here than I think I've ever... I'm casting more copies of Witness Protection than I ever have before. Oh, this hand is weird. It's another 5-lander, but 2 of our lands filter a land out of our deck. Like, we don't have the sick, like, curve out hand here, but we're on the draw anyway, so we're not really gonna, like, curve out super aggressively. Our colors are beautiful. We can filter more lands out of the deck. Just aren't doing anything till turn 5. I don't know. I don't think it's worth a mulligan. I do not mulligan particularly aggressively. The hand has to be doing like stone cold nothing the whole time for me to want to really mulligan it. Drawing another 6-drop here is a bit awkward with the hand. We're really looking for those 2, 3, 4 mana cards, looking for our early turn plays. But our opponent has a similar deck to us. It is sealed. They are going to be playing tap lands in their early turn. I don't have to be super worried about a super aggro start from our opponent. So we've got triple white here. We just grab a blue source off of Broker's Hideout. Sparrow's Headquarters gives us the second green source to sack the plaza already. Yeah, we get a blue source for sure here. I guess I can't turn 3 Groundbreaker here, but I probably wasn't going to do that anyway. Well, now I can. Do I want to do that? Yeah, we're going to have all 3 of our colors up, so if we need to have 4 untapped mana next turn, we can still do that. We've got 2 planes in hand. We're actually probably discarding Sparrow's headquarters now, because we have the forest for the green source to sack the plaza. Uh-oh. Probably just lose now, because Rigo gets to just pop off here. We don't have defenses. So our opponent gets to draw 2 cards every turn for a long time before we do anything. Because sure, we can play a Ballroom Brawlers turn 5, and then we can block the Lackey, but then they just make the fish, and we can't block the fish. I guess I could cycle Sparrow's headquarters here, attempting to draw Witness Protection. We do have 2 in the deck now. That might actually be like our highest likelihood of winning this game, is if we can just immediately stop them from drawing more cards. No, we draw Broker's Initiate. Alright. Rigo's gonna win this one in opponent's favor. Speakeasy Server. There's Backup Agent. Definitely. Probably too late. We can play Initiate and Agent and have 2 1 toughness blockers. Plus we can equip Groundbreaker because they're both citizens. So we equip Groundbreaker to one of them, just play a tapped land this turn. It's actually not bad at all. It's probably better than a single Ballroom Brawlers. I'm going to dig another land into the deck to make it less likely we top deck more of them. So we make a 3-2. We can have a 3-2 and a 1-5, or we can have a 3-6 and a 1-1. I'm going to go 3-2 and a 1-5, because we can already just put our 1-5 on their 2-2 to bounce the shield counter off of it, and this way we just put the 3-2 on the 1-1. Like an Ominous Parcel for 4 damage. It's not enough to kill Broker's Initiate, but it would be enough to finish off Backup Agent if they want to dump all their mana into that. I was going to say, the only way they kill Broker's Initiate is if we block Lackey and they crack the parcel. So I guess we could potentially choose to block there instead. Broken Wings, blow up the equipment, that's fine. So we know they've sideboarded into that. This fish is a problem, but we don't have an answer to the fish. So we just play our giant crocodile. Do we play our Ballroom Brawlers to get some lifelink going? They're not attacking us on the ground either way. It actually might be stronger to start getting some lifelink. Broker's Initiate's already like way big enough that they're never going to block it. Outside of a chump block. Again, I'm really just going through the motions here. Our opponent's drawn like 4 extra cards this game at this point off of Rigo. Our odds of winning are incredibly close to 0, but like I'm not going to scoop here. I'm going to play it out. Start playing a little faster, though. I don't want to grind my clock on a game that is very likely in my opponent's favor. So we're going to double up on lifelink here, and then we're just going to cast a probably giant sewer crocodile. Warm welcome, okay. Try our Fiend's Informants. We want lifelink next. What are the blocks going to be? Block with Rigo. We get rid of the shield counter. Rigo is much closer to dead. And then we gain 3. Cool. Now we drop Sewer Crocodile. Pass turn. Yeah, I'm going to start just going speed mode so we can get our clocks a little closer. I don't think this game's going to go to time, though. Or this match is going to go to time. Because we're probably dying somewhat quickly here, and then it's unlikely that I spend 20 minutes in game 3. But just in case. Alright, cool. Sending those 2. We're taking 4. They're drawing a card. They have 6 power flyers now, so we're taking 7 next turn. Yeah, we're dying really quickly. We're just hitting more lands. Not what we need. Botanical Plaza, what do we got? Witness Protection, we can finally get rid of Rigo, but it's too late. They've already drawn a million cards. Still do it. Get rid of one of the flyers to die more slowly. But we're life linking in for a million here. Ballroom Brawler is going to get blocked by a 3/5 and a 2/2. I can post-combat Witness Protection Echo Inspector to just permanently kill that. Let them keep Rigo because they already have the massive card advantage no matter what happens here. I mean, that doesn't seem terrible. But also, now that our lifelinker's dead, there's like no shot. Because we're not getting life every attack anymore. Sewer Crocodile is at 5 mana values though, so now it's really cheap to do it. Jet Mirror, okay. Well, we stuck around long enough to know that they have Jet Mirror, which is pretty good to know. Pretty good to know. That will certainly win the game here. All their creatures get +2/+0 Vigilance Trample right now. We don't have the mana to buff this, so just stop 4 damage, I guess. Can't kill anything. Fiend's Informant. They get 6. They're gonna all have double strike. Is it 9 or something? If they have 9, okay. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. There's a 0% chance we win now. I mean, we tapped down something, but yeah, no, we're dead. Mega dead that game. That was just Rigo going off. The Jet Mirror was not necessary. In the end, like, there could have been a million other cards that still close it out. It was really the Rigo drawing probably 6, 7 cards throughout that game that got us there. We need a better early curve. 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5 2-drops in this deck. 1 1-drop. I don't think there's anything we can change about this deck. Yeah, we can't make the curve any better. Our creatures in the side are a 4 mana card, a 3 mana card. Yeah. Our best card against Rigo is Witness Protection. We just need to draw it sooner. We don't have exile removal. We don't have pacifism removal. And pacifism removal doesn't get rid of the important part of Rigo, which is the card draw anyway. Yeah, fight spells don't really help us. Yeah, I think we're playing the best build we can against this current opponent. Just got to run it back. Hope to draw a little better this time, get a better early game curve, especially because we will be on the play this game. So that's helpful already, even if we draw a very similar hand. That's not a similar hand at all. Let's mulligan that. This is a good one. Keep this. Get rid of that big old crocodile. Do need to draw some action here, but turn 2 Giada, turn 3 Exotic Pets. Far from the worst start that we've had. Only 1 mana away from the Ballroom Brawlers coming out on turn 5 as well. As long as we draw 1 more land throughout this game, we'll get that. Would much prefer to be drawing non-lands at this point, though. Ominous Parcel, Capenna Courtyard, just all the mana set up here. We've got Spara's Headquarters. Do I want to play the green source or cycle that? Well, because I have Exotic Pets, I'm definitely not playing that right now. I'm casting Exotic Pets this turn, which unfortunately is just going to be 2 1/1s. No counters out. But we'll see next turn if we want to play that or cycle it. There's Expendable Lackey, not going to do any blocking against flyers. It is a citizen, though, for some reason. So Civil Servant's going to be a 3/3 lifelinker, which is really, really hard to beat if they get to pop off like that this early in the game. We drew Backup Agent right after we cast Exotic Pets. Sad time, not what you want to see. Spara's Headquarters this turn is the only way we can confirm we're playing Ballroom Brawlers on 5. Yeah, Civil Servant's a really big deal. We might even have to just trade Giada into it, because otherwise we can't outrace a 3/3 lifelinker coming in every turn. But we are playing a 3/5 next turn. Rough. That's the other thing that, like, this is pretty rough and sealed, where you're so at the mercy of what you open, to where, like, our opponents have broken wings. Like, I think at least half of our rounds we played against our opponents, they've had the broken wings to be able to sideboard in, but we don't really have a sideboard with this deck. We just could play more witness protections, I guess, which isn't really sideboardy. It's just kind of like, yeah, I guess we'll toss this in. We don't have like good pinpoints, targeted cards in our sideboard like our opponents have been playing on us, like Broken Wings, where it's like, oh, you've got a ton of flyers, this is going to be awesome. Don't have stuff like that. Got no counter on anything for Regulator. Drawing the Masses is just going to pop off. I guess we're just still hitting with Fish. Still hitting with Fish every turn. It doesn't matter at all what we tap down here, because I can't not hold up Brawlers as a blocker. And whatever we tap should be untapped next turn. They've got their 5 mana to deal 4 damage to a creature here with the Ominous Parcel, even if they don't have anything else in their hand. They're just going to pass turn. Witness Protection's the draw. Not awful. Killing a Darling in the Masses with that. It's pretty nice here. Because it is buffing the rest of their board and potentially giving them 1/1s. They're going to go ahead and kill Regulator here, it looks like. No, they're going to grab a basic land. So we might be getting in for 4. They're grabbing a mountain. Because they're grabbing a mountain, I am not Witness Protection Darling in the Masses, because they're just going to play Jetmir on me. Or Rock's Pummeler. That's also scary. That is scary enough to Witness Protection, even though Jetmir is a distinct possibility because they pulled out a mountain. Rock's Pummeler also threatens a lot to me. Got Paragon of Modernity coming down. Jetmir's going to do a lot of work, even off the first attack. Even like when it enters the boards. The fact that Witness Protection Sorcery Speed's pretty rough here. I think because of that, we're just stopping the Pummeler. Jetmir does not give reach, right? So we just kill them next turn. If it's Jetmir. Yeah, I think we stop Pummeler. Maybe Darling in the Masses, but I'm going to go Pummeler here. Drop Paragon. We've got Lethal in the Sky. Inspiring Overseer. Good card here. Good card here. The Fiend's Informants. Draw, discard. Civil Servant getting in for that big life gain attack here. Putting them up to 10. We got Botanical Plaza. Okay. They just have a 2/1 flyer there, so we just attack with all the evasive threats again. Kill them next turn. Take it all. 2, 3, 4, 5. They're trying to Jetmir us for lethal. 3, 4, 5, 6. Cast Jetmir. 7. There's nothing we can do about it, right? Like, we could attack with less creatures, but if their whole board has double strike trample, we die even if we have all of our blockers up. I guess we could play Ballroom Brawlers. We could have swung Ballroom Brawlers to gain some life here as our best bet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't lethal even if we buff again. So we don't. Well, I guess I have nothing else to cast. I should have buffed again for just 1 more damage here. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 when they cast Jetmir. 8 from Drawing the Masses. If they can cast Jetmir in a 2-drop here, they kill us. Speakeasy Server. Oh, no. Missing out on that 1 damage actually could matter a lot here because they just gained 6 life. We definitely should have activated again. So they go Expendable Lackey in so they can get a fish token. Sure. Have a fish. Man, this Ballroom Brawlers is putting in work. Just being a 3-5 on this board, it's been real helpful. Kill Shot. Love having that as a backup. 4-3 Flyer as a blocker from our opponent. Paragon of Modernity. Only going to be able to be a 5-5, so they could double block it to kill it. And we can't attack with Regulator anymore. They double block, we kill both flyers. Probably worth the swing here, especially with an opponent at 9. Okay, so they double block. We only have to buff the once here. If we buff again, nothing changes. We still just kill both of them. They're down to 7. The fish token's really putting in work here. Hit them for 4 in the sky next turn. Freelance Muscle is a potentially massive attacker. So that's going to start getting in. So glad we have Kill Shot for that. Another land for us. We can cycle this Botanical Plaza and still have Kill Shot mana thanks to this untapped source here. Another land. Kill them in 2 attacks here. If they can't find interaction, they're dead next turn. Cycle that Jetmir's Guard and look for an out here. Rigo, Streetwise Mentor will draw them another card, but that's not lethal on board. And that's only 1 mana untapped and no flying blockers. That should be game. And there's the concession, 4-0 in the Qualifier Weekend, Day 1 of Streets of New Capenna. $7,500 gem reward, whatever happens here. Opponent on the play here. We're on the draw. We've got all 3 colors. We've got a turn 2 backup agent. Ceremonial Groundbreaker's not bad either. We kind of curve out when we have a 1, 3, 4, and then a 6, but our 3 doesn't actually impact the board until we spend more mana on it. This is not a bad hand. I'm going to keep this. But it's not a great hand. But it's not a bad one. Certainly not a mulligan in my opinion. Now we've got a turn 3 Celestial Regulator. That makes this hand very exciting, because now we go turn 2 Backup Agent, turn 3 Regulator. Turn 4 we've got 2 options, which means one of these is going to happen turn 4, one of these is going to happen turn 5. So now we really have a curve. Cabaret Courtyard, we get to play that on turn 4 or 5 while we're just casting extra 4 drops. For now, we drop the backup agent with a counter on itself and pass the turn. The opponent is on Riveteers here. We've seen green and black from them, so very, very likely they're green, black, and red at the minimum, because those are the colors that overlap there. Corrupt Court Official here, probably going to have to discard the 6 mana Sewer Crocodile. Draw another land. Could Regulator here doesn't do too much, but not bad at all. I actually like getting a forest out here with the Botanical Plaza. We're going to need another green source down. So definitely going to have to keep these Corrupt Court officials in mind in future games of this round. Ooh, Midnight Assassin, that's annoying. Probably just trade that into our regulator. Witness Protection is not a bad draw, but I think I would much rather just spend all my mana on a 4-drop here. And don't love Paragon of Modernity right now because we're going to want to spend mana on Groundbreaker. So I kind of like Groundbreaker, equip on Backup Agent, attack both. Kind of into that. I like Paragon of Modernity as like your last spell played, because then if you're just drawing lands afterwards, you've still got something to dump mana into. But if you play it early, it's just a 4-mana 2/2 flyer. If you're still casting more spells from your hand, you're just doing like nothing else with it. Alright, trade the Death Toucher into our flyer here and take 4. You're down to 15. They are on green, red, black, and white. Cabaretti and Riveteers. They are the 5-color. Pull out the island here with the Ominous Parcel. So splashing in all of their great bombs. We didn't really have any bombs that are like a big enough reason to splash any other colors. Is why we just stuck to a 3-color deck here, even though this is very much a sealed format that goes up to 5 colors. The set's been really interesting because more than any other set recently, Sealed and Draft are quite different in terms of what you're capable of doing color-wise. Alright, so the Paragon's down. Now we've got a great way to spend all our extra mana here. Snooping Newsy is the play. They're going to self-mill a little bit, see if they can get that to be a 3/3 lifelinker. Not yet, but very close. And then Glittermonger is the play, another way to get those 5 colors of mana. That taps for a treasure token every single turn. So we play our land here, and we can double pump Paragon of Modernity now, which is pretty threatening. We probably attack both, because we're threatening a lot of damage here. If we put a Glittermonger or a Corrupt Court Official in their grave, do they have the mana values? They do. If the Corrupt Court Official dies, then the Snooping Newsy is going to be a lifelinker. So we actually don't want it to die, so maybe we equip the Paragon and buff it and just attack with that, and then try to kill them with it next turn. We can find lethal, probably. Because this turn we'll be hitting for 5, next turn we can hit for 6, so they need removal for it like immediately. That seems pretty good to me. Keep them off of the lifelink on Snooping Newsy by getting 5 mana values engraved by not killing Corrupt Court Official. The problem here is going to be if they have a casualty spell, some way to sack Corrupt Court Official, they really get us here. If it's the casualty removal spell, they kill Paragon of Modernity, attack us for some life gain, and the casualty removal spell also gains life. The Grizzly, whatever. We're just going to no-block this. Take 3 down to 17. They're going to get a treasure token from Glittermonger. Wrath Effect would be bad for us as well here. Corpse Explosion, Wrath Effect it is. Broker's Initiate. Gonna be pretty good on this empty board, though. Drop the Initiate. Suit it up. Play our land here so we have the mana to crack this Botanical Plaza to draw a card. And next turn, we're attacking with a 6/6 trample. Not even that, a 7/6 trample, yeah. So even if they play a Corrupt Court Official, if they play anything actually, we Witness Protection to make it a 1/1. And that's exactly small enough to get trampled over for lethal. So they have to play more than one creature here, or they have to play a removal spell to survive. Broker's Initiate actually popping off this game. Alright, not quite, because now we're not going to kill them anymore because they gain 3 life. But Broker's Initiate still putting in work here, because it's gonna force the chump. We don't have to play Witness Protection, because we can just kill the Seraph even without it. I guess if they don't block, we'll just do it post-combat. Right? Because we're hitting for 7, putting them to 2 lives. They probably just block here. I guess we could Witness Protection and Speakeasy Server. Which might be better. I don't know. I'm going to attack with Initiate. If they block, we buff. If they don't block, then we probably Witness Protection Speakeasy. Actually move the Groundbreaker too, which is spicy. Big old flyer now. Because Speakeasy Server is also a citizen. The citizen tribal stuff is a little annoying because it's one of those tribal types that's hard to... Oh god. That's hard to know what is and isn't... that card's obnoxiously good. 4/4 trample lifelink haste. They attack with that. They go to 11. If they're at 11, they take 3 plus 7, 10. They don't die. Wow. We trade here. It's not a great trade because we can hold Initiate up to block later. I think we have to still just trade, though. I'm super glad I moved the Groundbreaker over. We can't let that thing keep popping off. Ooh, Rigo. Now I have to choose between drawing a card or hitting for 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana here. We can't cast Rigo if we buff Broker's Initiate. Is Rigo a citizen? Yep. I honestly think I'd rather draw a card than hit mega hard here. Spara's Headquarters is a draw, which can draw another card. You're just popping off card draw wise. Equip the Initiate, so we don't have to spend the mana to equip it next turn. Next turn I'll just attack both and hit a bunch. Or I guess if I really, really, really want to draw a card, I can move it back over to Rigo for just 1 mana. Could be like a kill shot or something from our opponent. He's got 3 cards in hand that are doing nothing still, which is real suspicious. I feel like it's some way to kill something here. Groundbreaker, Rigo, attack both. We get to draw a card and then still buff Initiate to get in damage with it. Okay, so we trample over there, we do damage with Broker's Initiate. Rigo's shield counter is gone. Drop Skycrier. Groundbreaker onto that. Obscura Interceptor. Big old life linker. Try to get them enough life to survive another swing here. Surprised they didn't go for the bounce the Skycrier to our hand, responding to us trying to cast it, because we only had 1 mana up after casting Skycrier there. Alright, gain your 3. Go to 6. Psychic Pickpocket. Return 1 of our creatures to our hand. But they only have 1 mana up. I think they die. Right, because they block Rigo and let Broker's Initiate through, they take 7. If they don't have a trick for 1, they lose. No matter what they bounce, I think. Wow, they got Nightclubber too? There's just 5-color good stuff. Ooh, Rooftop Nuisance. Now they definitely die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana? Yep. They definitely die. Alright. 1-0 in round 5 here. Taking another look at their deck here. They've got like Nightclubber we might be a little worried about. It's a little sad for us against our fishes and stuff. We don't like that. Do need to keep in mind their Wrath effect. We don't really have a sideboard against it. Boon of Safety doesn't help against the -X, but it helps against like the Wrath and stuff. Probably keep it in. Witness Protection doesn't seem massively good against them. I mean, it's nice against the Fleetfoot Dancer and the Shattered Seraph. That Rogue's Gallery is going to get a lot of value for our opponents sometimes here. That's pretty sketchy. Cherub Interceptor, Psychic Pickpocket, a lot of bounce spells from our opponent. Don't really have any ways to counter those, so I think we are running it back here. As usual with this deck. Maybe could play the second Witness Protection over the Boon of Safety, but I do kind of like it against their Death Touch Flyer, against their Corpse Explosion. A couple places I enjoy that card here. Alright, not a terrible hand here. We don't have any of our 2-drops or our 1-drop creature, which isn't phenomenal, but we've got all of our colors, a bunch of stuff we can cast, turn 3. Not bad at all, we'll keep this. There's a kill shot. Nice to have later. Our opponent does have some big threats like the Fleetfoot Dancer we would like to blow up. Double black's going to start it off from our opponent, not something you want to see in your 5-color deck. Unless they've got a turn 3 Nightclubber here. So now we Broker's Hideouts and pull out another white source, I think, rather than hold up a Make Disappear for their 3-drop. The best 3-drop we saw from them was Nightclubber and Rogue's Gallery, neither of which are great plays turn 3 here. So we're pretty okay to just have the shields down on turn 3. Not worry about the potential counterspell missing out. So Spar's Adjudicators is going to give them white, blue, or green, so they basically have any color now. White, blue, green, black, or red. Thanks to their current mana base, and Snooping Newsy is going to be the play. I would really prefer to hold off. On exotic pets until we potentially have a counter, because we know they have Nightclubber in their deck, and they chose to go Swamp, turn 1, turn 2. Fight Rigging's horrible, but now we know to hold up a counterspell against that, but that's obnoxiously good. That's going to put a counter on a creature every single turn, and if they manage to get a 7-power creature down, they get to cast whatever they hit away for free. So it's just a massively good card here. We're probably on Kill Shot Snooping Newsy just to get that power off their board. Grab another blue source here. And I guess they're going to play Spar's Adjudicators next turn, which is going to be even worse. Yeah, this just looks like a really, really bad game for us because of that Fight Rigging. We probably have to just play exotic pets here. Or I guess we can Make Disappear the Adjudicators. But yeah, we have to just let this combat go through. Then we Make Disappear Adjudicators and hold on to Kill Shot for the Newsy later. Pass turn with 5 mana up? Okay. Obscure Initiate is in their hand. We try to cast exotic pets, they bounce it back to our hand. We just hold on to Make Disappear here, wait till our turn. Now we can exotic pets and hold up Make Disappear. So we attack in, they go for their thingamabob, Make Disappear it, and then we hold up our exotic pets for a later time. Just gonna exile Shattered Seraph. Oh, they didn't have white, blue, green. That's awkward. But this turn's still going to be good for us, because we still get to Kill Shot, Make Disappear now. Because now we know they have it. It's playing around a card that they couldn't have cast. I should have cast Exotic Pets in that end step. I was playing around something that I didn't realize they did not even have the mana for. But that's no creatures on board for the Fight Rigging now, but as soon as they get 1 more mana, Shattered Seraph is a big, big, big deal. That's going to trigger Fight Rigging very quickly. That's not a Shattered Seraph, so I'm guessing no land from them here. Just get counters on Hypnotic Grifter for now. Unfortunate these fishes are just going to be 1/1s, but they're still going to put in work. Unblockable creatures. Try to beat our opponent down. Broker's Initiate's not bad either. We don't need to tap down Hypnotic Grifter because it's not like it's going to lifelink us or anything. Plus, Broker's Initiate is nice and big here. Potential 5/5. See what they have in the end step. Just going to go ahead and connive off of Grifter, looking for that 7th land for the Shattered Seraph here. Discard. Ooh, Halo Scarab works. Discard the Halo Scarab, get the treasure token, use the treasure token to cast the Seraph. And now they have a big old creature in the sky for the fight rigging, and then we're going to double lock down with Rooftop Nuisance. Hit us for 4 with this Grifter. Actually, no, because we could just buff it. They don't cast the Seraph. White, blue, black. They 100% can cast the Seraph. They're just playing very defensively. Okay. Just going to make sure I'm not counting things wrong again. So here, I guess because of the Broker's Initiate, they don't want to cast the Seraph because then we just attack with Broker's Initiate. They know that it gets in for 5. We have 3, 6, 7. We could have 8 mana if we play the land. We could Rooftop Nuisance and attack all and hit for 5 guaranteed. They might have like a Corpse Explosion or something under this fight rigging, so it might be better to Rooftop Nuisance than Paragon of Modernity here just to play around a Wrath. I really, instinctually, I just want to play Paragon of Modernity here and just attack with everything but Broker's Initiate. But I feel like Rooftop Nuisance, because we know they have at least 1 Wrath, might be the better way to go. I'm just guaranteed hit them for a bunch here, even if they're going to pop out a Wrath. The Wrath is a one-sided Wrath as well. Corpse Explosion will be so bad for us. Ooh, Boon of Safety. We're not going to have the mana up to use it if I buff Broker's Initiate, but we 100% we're supposed to buff Broker's Initiate here though, right? And they're going to respond with a removal spell, probably. I just wish I had 1 more mana here. Yeah, if they don't have a Wrath here, they just respond with removal. Let's figure it out. Let's see what they've got. It is Murder. I'm very surprised by their line there, but it does play against Rooftop Nuisance really well, so it was the better play for sure. Because if they just tapped out for Shattered Seraph, we get to do the double Rooftop Nuisance there. Pop off. So they're going to 9 here. Botanical Plaza is not a bad draw. Just going to keep hitting with Fish. 3, 4. So we get to buff the Paragon of Modernity and Boon of Safety. So if they don't get to play Corpse Explosion this game, I think we actually have a solid chance, which is really surprising against fight rigging. If they do get to cast Corpse Explosion, we have 0 chance, because it's a one-sided Wrath. They keep their whole board. They have 2 one-sided Wraths in their deck. Seems good. Yeah, that's disgusting. We Boon of Safety, the Paragon, or a Fish. I don't really think it matters. I think we just definitely die. This deck is going to be really hard to beat. They have Fight Rigging, 2 one-sided Wraths, Fleetfoot Dancer. Oh boy. Witness Protection's the draw. Make Shattered Seraph too small to block. How big is Paragon going to be here? We're going to make it a 3/3 on our next turn, and then we can buff it 2 more times. We make it a 4/4, and we kind of need Witness Protection here so that they don't have a flying blocker. Psychic Pickpocket. Okay. Yeah. Disgusting deck from our opponent here. There's no shot. No shot this game. We're going to have to aggro them really hard game 3. Because if the game goes long, they just start doing nonsense. Yeah. Witness Protection gets us nowhere here now. Draw a card off of our land, but there's nothing in our deck that's going to stop all 3 of those from hitting us, and we're at 3 life. Oh boy. That is an explosive deck from our opponent. I think we have to run it back. Witness Protection is not good against all their +1/+1 counter nonsense. They've got a good amount of connive and stuff. I don't think double Witness Protection seems like the way to go, but 1 is still fine against the Shattered Seraph. Fleetfoot Dancer. I like the Boot of Safety because they have multiple Wraths, it looks like. So I don't want to cut that for another one. If anything's getting cut for another Witness Protection, what would it be here? I'd love Make Disappear in this matchup. Maybe Groundbreaker's a bit slow in this match. I don't know. I think we just run it back. Maybe Killshot even, because if we're at the point where we have to cast Killshot, we're probably losing anyway. Although Killshot would be really good against like the Fleetfoot Dancer late game. That would save them, even if we aggro off early pretty well. Alright, game 3 here. See what happens. Alright, definitely on the play. Definitely not a keepable hand. This is also definitely not a keepable hand. And this is what we have to work with. It's not a good hand, but we can't mold 4. You hate to see it. I really don't want this match to end like this. Oh, that was a rough start to game 3. I think we're getting rid of Ballroom Brawlers. Got to get rid of 2 cards. Ballroom Brawlers, Killshot, hope for the best. I mean, Broker's Initiate doesn't do anything until we make it to 5 mana anyway. So maybe it's those 2. Killshot doesn't do anything unless we're actively losing. Let's run the back foot. Maybe we get rid of Killshot here and just hope to runner. Just start getting Angelic Observers is our best shot here. It is looking real bad. I'm going to pull a land out of our deck immediately because we want to draw non-land stuff. I guess I should have done Initiate in the backup agent, but I feel like this is fine too. Come on, Angelic Observers. You're like our only hope here. This was a very rough start for us. I guess I could just play backup agents as 2/2s. It's not bad against this opponent. Honestly, 1/5 Broker's Initiate's not that scary against this opponent. Halo Scarab. That is bad for us. Trade a Boon of Safety for that, though, so I can scry 1 and try to get some action. Alright. Instead, I'm probably Boon of Safetying during the end step to try to scry into something. Although, if I'm not leveraging every card I have into a removal spell... God damn it. That's obnoxious. They have turn 3 fight rigging this game. We're unlikely to win this even if we had a 7 card hand, and with the mulligans we had to take here, I think this is probably a loss. Inspiring Overseer is one of our best shots at coming back from a mold to 5. Kind of makes up for the loss of cards. Alright, we got to turn our Boon of Safety into a card here, which is good as well. Turn into a 1-for-1 trade there. So I was thinking, I was like, maybe we scry with Boon of Safety just to make sure we're drawing good cards, but if we do that, we're not using it to take a card away from our opponent, so we're kind of just falling behind even more in terms of card advantage. So that's why I didn't want to do that earlier. So I'm really happy that we get in a position there where we get to use the Boon of Safety that way. So they're going to Nightclubber to kill our Observer and draw a card here, hit us for 3. But luckily for us, that's nothing on board for them, so we can hit them for 7 if we buff the Initiate. Probably better to play Jewel Thief, though. buff in the future. Mana might be catching up to our opponent a little bit here. We don't see a black or a red source, which means no corpse explosion, no hostile takeover. The deck is so good regardless. They just play pickpocket here and it's pretty nasty. This fight rigging is just going to make it a 5-4. We just can't attack in anymore, and we're just drawing more lands. Fight rigging's only 2 power away from popping off. Trade for the pickpocket or just deal 5. Deal 5 it is. They're down to 11. And that's something. They're pretty low, but we'll see what they've got under fight rigging. Excuse me, my stomach just went wild. Shattered Seraph, that's pretty good. Really good way to stabilize. Biggest flyer on the board by far, and they gain 3. Yeah, this deck is disgusting from our opponent. Like, this is the kind of deck they've got, like, all the big late-game good plays in their sealed pool, like Shattered Seraphs, Pickpockets, Glamorous Outlaws, to where it's like, well, what decks can really beat this kind of deck? The hyper aggro decks. And then it's like, so what happens if you're a hyper aggro deck playing against this deck? Well, they have Corpse Explosion and Hostile Takeover to just 3 or 4 for 1 you with a one-sided Wrath. I would be surprised if this deck from our opponent doesn't 7-0 here. We don't have any attacks anymore because Pickpocket's a 7-6, and they have a 4-4 flyer and a 1-2 Death Touch flyer. So we're just passing the turn here. We can make a couple fish that can hit our opponent for 2 a turn. They've even got the whack here. Take the 5 in the sky, we're down to 14. Life totals are even, but the board state and card advantage is far from it. We actually hit for 3 a turn. I forgot about the counter on the backup agent here. That's not nothing. It's not meaningless. It actually does give us the smallest chance. I mean, the fact that we're still in this here means maybe if we had a 7-card hand, we would have had a chance in this game 3. I'm not going to say it's, well, a solid chance. Maybe we would have had a solid chance in this game had we had a 7-card hand. I'm not going to say this game's completely over. I mean, it's possible they just get stuck on mana to where they can never cast one of their Wraths. Or then it's possible that I draw, I don't know, enough combat tricks or equipment or something to kill them with fish quick enough, because they're down to 11 here. They're going all out, so if they can't block Broker's Initiate next turn, we hit back pretty hard. We just take 7 here. Oh my god, they've Soul of Emancipation too? Okay. Turn Midnight Assassin, Pickpocket, and Fight Rigging into 3/3/3 flyers. Yeah, there's no way. Get out of this game, I'm done. If my opponent doesn't 7-0, I'm gonna be very disappointed in them. Not if they don't 7-0, if they don't make it to day 2. That is a nuts deck, very well built. But also very well open. I think they're playing all 6 of their rares, and all 6 of their rares are obnoxiously good. Fight Rigging, Hostile Takedown, Corpse Explosion, Soul of Emancipation, Fleetfoot Dancer, and Obscura Interceptor. Yep, every single rare. Wow. 4-1 it is then. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to take another look at our sealed pool, look at our rares here. But that is the picture-perfect example of that is when you play 5-color. Yeah, Cut of the Prophets, Horde Hauler, Ognis, that's not it. None of these are as good as their weakest rare in their deck. Giada and Rigo are, though. These are great. The rares that we're playing. But yeah, wow. Jesus Christ, that deck. Alright. We'll take our beating. We'll move on. We're getting 7,500 gems out of this no matter what, which is phenomenal. So, no biggie. We've got a loss under the belt here. But yeah, let's move on to round 6 here. Round 6, we get to be on the play here. It's an okay starter. Overseer makes up for the fact that we're flooded here with a card draw. Botanical Plaza can help that as well. Broker's Hideout's going to thin the deck out a tiny bit. We're going to turn 1 Initiate, turn 2 Broker's Hideout into a Forest, turn 3 Island Overseer. I guess Initiate doesn't do anything on board, but it blocks 2/2s and 1/1s from opponent. Yeah, we probably do turn 1 Initiate here. Opponent takes a mulligan. My stomach's just going to be angry. You're going to have to deal with that if you can hear it. I'm sorry. I have not eaten anything today. I woke up, immediately started playing. No breakfast. And it has been a few hours now. Alright, so now we play our tapped land. Play the one that fetches one out of the deck to thin our lands out. Make it less likely to draw another here. Kill shot is the draw. Not horrible. Witness protection, that actually is pretty horrible here. Like having 1 removal spell here is not bad, but it's an empty board. Having 2, not good draws. Ooh, Celestial Regulator. We could just drop that so we can keep playing creatures and attacking here. If we didn't draw Regulator there, we were probably going to be stuck just Witness Protectioning their Overseer, which is not a great spot to be in. What kind of combat trick you want to use here? There's nothing that matters. There's nothing that cares about them hitting us here. They just want to use For the Family to kill Regulator? I would rather just take 2 damage. Like, we're winning the race here. If we just let them hit us, we just hit them back. Social Climber is the play. I'm not worried about that at all. Another land for us. Mana's getting sketch. But we're attacking with a 5/5 and 4 damage in the sky. So we hit them down to 10. If they don't block, and if they do block, we just kill a Social Climber at the cost of no cards to us. Yeah, I mean, I'll take 5 damage to my opponent's face over 1 card draw here. Opponent is in the Think Tank here, turn 4 for them. Or actually, probably turn 5. I think they're stuck on mana. Yeah, they played 2 3-drops in a row. They're stuck on mana. It's turn 5, not 4. Ballroom Brawlers is not a bad draw. Attack with just Initiate and Regulator. Get the Overseer killed and then go for Ballroom Brawlers here. I guess we could Witness Protection to attack with everybody. And still play Ballroom Brawlers. actually do like just trying to close this game out quickly here. Get that Overseer out of the sky so they can't make any trades. All they have are chumps. And we just let it block Initiate here and hit them for 4 down to 6, and then we play Ballroom Brawlers. They want to let, I doubt they let 9 damage through here rather than chumping with their 1-1. Yep, chump with the 1-1 it is. Let it happen. 1-1 can stick around. Cool. And we're pretty sure they have a combat trick here because they attacked with that in the past. So it's also nice to lock it down so they can't use their combat trick here to kill one of our flyers. So Warm Welcome here is pretty good. Opponent gets a 1-1, gains life, draws a card out of the top. It's not another flyer though, so Witness Protection is putting in work, keeping this Overseer on the ground. And Jewel Thief coming out, they're gaining a life, getting a treasure. They're going to go for a hold for ransom on the Ballroom Brawlers. They can attack as hard as they want here, but that means I just get to keep getting it in the sky. None of my flyers are locked down here. Crack in for 4, it looks like. Nope, cracking for 4 with those 2. Save the 1-1 Citizen to chump with, I guess. Thanks to Social Climber, it's probably going to take 3 attacks to kill them in the sky. Boon of Safety. Yeah, I guess we're buffing Broker's Initiate and holding up a Boon of Safety. I actually should probably just stop attacking with Broker's Initiate because they're just going to chump block it every single turn no matter what. Like, they have 4 more chump blockers. It's probably not worth the 5 mana to get rid of 1 every single turn unless it's going to take like 4 attacks to kill them in the sky. So yeah, I'm actually just going to not pay for that so that I have the mana to draw a card off Plaza or Kill Shot. I should have just not attacked with the Initiate at all here. I was not thinking that through. Because again, for Initiate to actually get through and connect into our opponent, we're going to have to spend the 5 mana to buff it like 3 turns in a row at least to get rid of their 3 chump blockers, their 2 1-1s, and their 3/3 Vigilance Jewel Thief. Don't think they want to chump block with Social Climber though, because it's what's keeping them from dying in only like 2 turns. Kaldia's Strong Arm, a little scary, but we can Kill Shot whatever they put the counters on, especially if they put them on Jewel Thief. Perfect. Put all the counters into one basket there, and we'll blow up the basket. Could blow up the Social Climber as well, so it's not possible that they get out of reach of dying to flyers. But it's probably better to kill a 5/5 Vigilant Trample. It's just a lot of good stats. Paragon Immunity is a great draw. This time we're actually going to be smart and not attack with Initiate. So we actually have that doing something here instead of nothing. Opponent's at 1 life, facing 3 flyers. We have a Boon of Safety. Even if they have Depopulate or something to destroy all creatures, we can use that to save 1 flyer on the board to finish them off. Opponent's going to need a lot of life gain to get out of this, I think. So maybe if they play a land drop so they have 5 mana, and then they play the 5 mana 5/3 Rhino that gains 3 life when it comes in. That would be like their only potential way out. But even then, that's not enough life because that's going to be 3 life from the Rhino and 1 from the Climber. So put them to 5 against 6 power of flying. So they won't get out of that one. Pretty sure we've got it on lock against pretty much anything from our opponent. Inspiring Overseer would also be good for opponents, but also not good enough to survive. They would go up to 3 life, and they would have a flying blocker, but they still die to our other 2 flyers. So they need a combination of multiple great cards here. So send in the Social Climber, we block with Broker's Initiate. We don't want to die to combat tricks here, which I don't actually think there is a combat trick that kills us here, because the For the Family would only be +2/+2, Luxurious Libation would be +3/+3, neither of those make it to 9, but if they double up some specific combat tricks, they might get there. Like if they Luxurious Libation and For the Family, they buff Social Climber to 5 power with Luxurious Libation and spit out a 1/1. And then because they spit out a 1/1, they'll have 4 creatures on board, which would make it so For the Family would be +4/+4. So if they have exactly Luxurious Libation and For the Family, they could kill us off that attack. This is another matchup. We're happy to just run it back. Boon of Safety did a tiny bit of work there, right? No, it didn't. We just held it in hand all game. But it was making it so we were safe against any removal spell or wrath or anything, but we didn't see a removal spell or wrath. Maybe we're supposed to double Witness Protection instead of just 1 Boon of Safety, but that's pretty much the same option we have every game is like, do we want Boon of Safety or Witness Protection swapping out? And here, again, I think we're just going to run it back. Round 6, game 2 now. Opponents on the plane, we don't have any plays till turn 4, but we have excellent mana and a turn 2 Make Disappear to counter their turn 2 or turn 3 play to kind of keep us active in the game. I'm going to keep this here. We're pretty heavily relying on Make Disappear actually doing something, which isn't great. We're definitely going to Broker's Hideout to thin a land out here, because now we have 4 lands in hand already. We only really need to draw 1 more to play almost everything in hand. So we Broker's Hideout for planes, I think. We might just be playing our island next turn, so we just have Make Disappear up to do on whatever their first play is. Ooh, that's very bad. But Backup Agent is the draw, and that can make up for that. Now we can just trade our Backup Agent into that if they don't have removal. Now we have a turn 2 play and a turn 3 play. Our turn 3 plays Make Disappear. That actually smooths out almost our whole hand. Because now turn 2 Backup Agent, turn 3 Make Disappear. Turn 4, if we draw an untapped land, we play Metropolis Angel. That's why I said it almost smooths out our hand, because the problem is the rest of our mana comes into play tapped. So we aren't actually playing a 4-mana spell on turn 4 or a 5-mana spell on turn 5. So Social Climber's the play. And they are probably trading Decoy into Backup Agent, because they'll just have to do that anytime later, unless they want to trade a removal spell into Agent, which I doubt. So yeah, we have to block there, so the trade is going to happen. Even if we didn't have to block there, I think we definitely would. Now we have a Fairy Vandal. If we don't cast Make Disappear, we can just go for Fairy Vandal instead, which is pretty nice. Four mana from our opponent. They're going to hit us for 3 with this Social Climber. We'll be down to 18. And they're going to pass turn, so Fairy Vandal it is, because we can't counter a spell if they don't cast a spell. Fairy Vandal on the board, see if they cast a removal spell in their end step. If they do, we are tapped out. It definitely resolves. And it's looking that way. Bouncer's Beatdown. Get rid of the Fairy Vandal. Fair enough. We draw into a Boon of Safety, so we can't play our 4-drop turn 4. Pretty rough. Now we're entirely relying on that Make Disappear to actually do something this turn. Taking 3, going down to 15. We're looking pretty good in terms of cards in hand versus them here. And we know our cards are big. 5-drop and a 6-drop coming up. So our cards are probably pretty on par with whatever's in their hand. We just have more of them. So I'm feeling pretty good. They just passed turn here again. Now I'm getting a little scared that all their cards in hand are like 6-drops or something. Would I rather hold up Boon of Safety or cast Ballroom Brawlers? I think I'd rather hold up Boon of Safety. So if they have a removal spell to try to get rid of this Metropolis Angel, we counter it. And if they don't, we can still just put a shield counter on it during their end step so that it will draw us a card every time it attacks. Because it will be a creature with a counter on it. That being said, it could be better to trade Boon of Safety into their Social Climber than it is to draw cards off of Metropolis Angel, because we have been getting beaten down here. We're down to 15 already, now they're going to start playing a bunch of Gathering Throngs. So we probably do need to whittle down their board. Oof, and an Inspiring Overseer as well. Big oof. Yeah, Inspiring Overseer means Metropolis Angel is not going to be able to be getting the attacks in. Even with the shield counter. I mean, I guess with the shield counter it's going to It's going to trade a shield counter for the Overseer and draws a card in the process. We are playing a 3-5 next turn. It's a pretty big blocker. Maybe we are actually taking this here. I'm going to take this here. This might be greedy, though. They go Land Gathering Throng. Okay, they didn't go Land Gathering Throng, so this might pop off. This play may possibly pop off. 6th mana does get us to Sewer Crocodile, but I'm going to draw another card next turn. I really don't want to draw 2 more lands. And we'd probably rather play Ballroom Brawlers than Sewer Crocodile so we can get some lifelink going on. And it's still just as big of a blocker against their attackers. So, yeah, I'm on Ballroom Brawlers next turn. We don't need that mana for the Sewer Crocodile just yet. And we'll hit another land anyway. So let's draw a card off of Metropolis Angel here. Jewel Thief. Jewel Thief is good. It's better to Jewel Thief and hold up Make Disappear or just Ballroom Brawlers. Or just Sewer Crocodile. Probably Ballroom Brawlers to get some lifelink going on and still have a big blocker. Because if we hold up Make Disappear, their best play is probably just casting 2 copies of Gathering Throng. Make Disappear, sure we get rid of 1 Gathering Throng, but we're not going to be able to counter the first one that lets them grab more from their deck. So they're just gonna have Throngs everywhere no matter what. I think we put lifelink out. I guess if they don't... Okay, I was going to say, if they don't hit a land here, then they don't double Throng. Hold for Ransom. Oh god. So hold for Ransom plus Gathering Throng, so no lifelink for us. Alright, I think they just got us here then. They only have 2 Throngs in the deck, so that's nice. At least. But yeah, no lifelink. We can gain 1 life here. Go to 6. Jewel Thief for another blocker. Hold up a Make Disappear. Make Disappear's not going to counter anything, though. I guess we get to sacrifice Ballroom Brawlers, so we do get to counter their Throng. Play to our outs here. Just play the best we can. Do we draw a card with Angel? Almost definitely no. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to counter a Throng if they cast one. We're going to die if we don't counter it, but also die if we do, because then they just cast a better spell. Yeah, this hand was too slow, unfortunately. Rocks Pummeler. Well, that's the easiest Make Disappear I've cast in my life. I guess thanks to Jewel Thief, we actually do... I guess we already did. I totally forgot we have the mana to save Ballroom Brawlers from Hold for Ransom to get lifelink going next turn. Then we gain 6 on the attack? Shoot, maybe I should have even done that last turn. But I'm glad I didn't, because we wouldn't have held up Make Disappear if I just saved Ballroom Brawlers. They're going to get everybody in. So kill the biggest attackers here, take 3. And then we're going to gain 6 on the attack and take 3 on the crackback. Actually, winning the onboard race, we know they have more creatures in hand, but we're going to be winning the onboard race here. Gaining another life as well. But the current race as it stands, we're winning. We're going to be losing the race as soon as next turn happens, because we're just going to play a ton more creatures. But for now, lifelink does things. Back up to 10, and then we just take 3 damage this turn. Unless, I guess, they could have Luxurious Libation plus For the Family, like we were concerned they had last game. Then I think they just kill us on the spot. Yeah, it'd be +9/+9. No, it wouldn't. For the family would not be +4/+4 right now. So it would be +5, 6, 7. Still be lethal if they have For the Family and Libation. They have Rocks Pummeler. Pretty big, pretty spicy card. And that'll shut off our life link as well, because they just block the Ballroom Brawlers with that. I don't gain life because the damage is prevented. Metropolis Angel can still gain life, but it dies to Overseer. Yeah, another Rocks Pummeler is pretty big. If they didn't have another Rocks Pummeler, our odds of winning this game went up a lot when we got those double blocks last turn into the lifelink attack, because if they just had more Gathering Throngs, I think we'd be doing really well. But another Rocks Pummeler is pretty devastating. It's not over, though. And Exotic Pets is huge. Nine mana. Exactly enough to play Sewer Crocodile and hold up Exotic Pets. Could sacrifice Botanical Plaza to draw a card, but it's probably better to go for the plays that we know we can do than it is to gamble a little on drawing something better. If we hit them for 3, we're going to put them to 12 life. In which case, with Sewer Crocodile being unblockable, that's 4 unblockable power, plus 2 pets is 6 unblockable power, plus Metropolis Angel is 9 if they attack with Overseer again. 9 is not going to be lethal next turn. I don't think we attack with Angel. Sewer Crocodile plus Exotic Pets is 6 damage each turn that they attack, so that can kill them in 2 swings if we attack them with Metropolis Angel once. Maybe we do attack with Metropolis Angel. Does put them dead to 2 swings of our unblockable cards. But we need to worry about blocking Rocks Pummeler as well. Like, we're going to block with our Ballroom Brawlers and take 1 trample. No, I think we have to hold back blockers here. I don't think I can afford to take the Inspiring Overseer damage, unfortunately. Does Exotic Pets make Sewer Crocodile cost 1? No. It'd be our second 3-drop in our grave. So this will still cost 4 mana to activate. Okay. They go to combat. Pummeler and Overseer are getting in. We make some fish. We can take 5 and pop the shield counter with a fish. Combat tricks just kill us here, like hardcore. Do I trade? No, I don't trade Sewer Crocodile for a shield token. If it didn't have a shield, I'd maybe trade Crocodile for the Pummeler. I'm gonna have to take a lot of trample damage from this Pummeler. I think we have to just accept that we're just dying to a combat trick. Like, Luxurious Libation kills us no matter what, and at least this plays around +2/+2. +2/+2, we still go to 1 life and survive. Yeah. If they have Luxurious Libation, we're just going to die no matter what we do here. Like, our best block against Luxurious Libation is to throw a Crocodile under the bus and then still get trampled over for a ton. Okay, down to 3. Wait, how are we down to 3? Oh yeah, because the trample, what I was literally just saying. So yeah, Libation would have killed us, but +2/+2 would not. Another Inspiring Overseer. Here's some great decks we're running up against now. We are running against the 4-win decks now, so that's going to happen, but the mirror match of multiple Overseers. This opponent, consistent enough sealed pool though to play just 2 colors is really nice. Solid green and white removal. They definitely have better removal than us. I think we have better bombs than our opponent, but our opponent has better removal. So we have to draw a card here and see what we can get, otherwise we're just dead. And I guess we're gaining Ballroom Brawler's life if we need it. Okay, well, we're just dead, right? I mean, we gained 7. Gain 7 by attacking with Sewer Crocodile and Ballroom Brawlers. Chump Block Pummeler and we take 3? Maybe we're not dead if they don't have, like, Kill Shot here. If they don't have, like, Kill Shot here, we might not be dead. I guess we die to any removal because they kill the fish, and we don't have a blocker. Up to 10 life against their 12. Knockout blow for the final 4 damage to the life linker. Rough. Rabble rousing. Yep. That's a 4-win deck kind of card. We found the bomb. Every time they attack with a creature, they get a 1/1 blocker. As soon as they have 10 creatures, they can cast their Hideaway spell for free, but they don't need to. They don't need to cast the Hideaway spell to win with Rabble Rousing, because they just have infinite creatures on board if you play that card. I guess we go to 2 life if we keep the fish around, but we just die to 1/1s. They are citizen tokens too, so that they synergize with cards like Civil Servant, which is disgusting. Celestial Regulator's the draw, but we don't have a counter on board, so we can't lock something down. We're at 8 life here. We can trump block there, take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but they gain 3 life when they hit us. They gain 3 life when we hit us, and we go to 1. There's no way here. I think I would rather just scoop than show them Regulator. Yeah, no shot here. No combination of cards in our decks gets out of this one. And we don't have Broken Wings or anything in our sideboard at all that can destroy an enchantment. We don't have Broken Wings. We don't have the white Exile a non-land permanent spell. Yep, there are 0 cards in our sealed pool that can deal with Rabble Rousing. I guess we have the 1 card in our sealed pool that could deal with it in our deck, which is Make Disappear. Our only shot to stop Rabble Rousing. Alright. Game 3 of this match. The deciding game here. If we lose this one, we're out of the event. But if we win, that'll be 5 wins under our belt. Gonna be on the play here, see what we draw. Not a bad start here, but it's not a great one. Very heavy on lands. Turn 2 backup agent into turn 3 regulator. It's pretty exciting. We can hold headquarters in our hands, so we can cycle it later in the game. Play Courtyard turn 1 to reduce the amount of lands in our deck. Just grab a forest with that. Oh boy. See how we draw here. Another backup agent is not bad at all. Double green is the start from our opponent. Wouldn't be surprised to see Riveteer's Decoy or something. Gala Greeters. Wow, I was wrong about our deck having better bombs. We just did not get to see their bombs until game 2. They have a Rabble Rousing and a Gala Greeters. The Gala Greeters is going to consistently give them value as creatures enter the battlefield under their control. Very devastating card if it comes out on turn 2 and doesn't get dealt with. Luckily for us, their turn 2 play is a Gilded Pinions, which means they're stuck on mana here. Just double green. They're going to use that treasure token to get their off color. So we have to capitalize on this and hit as hard as we can. Put another flyer on the board here, I think. Backup Agent puts another 2 power on the board, just like Overseer does. This one puts 2 power on the board and draws us a card. It's got to be better. Skycryer's coming up here. Next turn we can play Backup Agent and Skycryer. Yeah, push the aggro here. Try to kill them before they get the mana they need. Because if they do, this Gala Greeters is going to pop off. So next turn we're on Backup Agent plus Skycryer. Gathering Throng is the play. Kind of unfortunate here. Because that means they definitely have another creature for next turn. They could even use the Gala Greeters to get the treasure to play the next one. Yep, and that is what they're going to do here. But we know that we're attacking in the sky pretty hard, so we just play more flyers. Ooh, Giada, if we draw another Angel, that's going to be really good. I think we go Giada Backup Agent here. Because that's going to put 3 extra power in the sky. I guess that's the same as Giada Skycryer. Yeah, but we hit for 1 less damage this turn. Yeah, let's go Giada Skycryer, and we go for Backup Agent next turn. Still holding Headquarters in hand. We're probably cycling that later. Do I want to trade Backup Agent to their 3-1? Don't see a massive reason not to. They pretty much have to block here, so we can get that off the board. That's something that now cannot get a Gilded Pinions on it later. So not bad. So if we draw another land next turn, we cycle Headquarters and still cast Backup Agent. Hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the sky. They do draw their planes now. They have 4 mana up. They have every color thanks to the treasure token. And the Think Tank Social Climber is the play. They're going to need to gain a lot of life to get out of this one. So they're probably playing Social Climber, gain life off Gala Greeters, and just try to start spamming ground creatures to gain enough life to stabilize a bit, maybe get some traction here and start attacking back with their ground troops against our flyers. We'll see here. They are very much in the Think Tank on the Gala Greeters. They are going to go for the life gain. They were probably pretty heavily considering the treasure token instead is what that was. So since I drew a kill shot, I'm actually going to hold on to this and not cycle Spara's Headquarters until their end step. Because we might be kill shotting one of their attackers next turn. But we put them down to 4 now, past the turn. We've got a lot of potential life gain on the board, so they're not necessarily dead next turn, but I think we're very likely to kill them in 2 swings. Gathering Throng there, that gains them 3 life if they commit it all to life gain, which still leaves them dead on board. Alright, it's all to life gain. They're still dead on board. They've only got 1 mana up here. Send in Social Climber. Not going to do anything about that. I'm fine with that. Unless they do a trick that gives it lifelink, then I'll kill shot. Alright, so we cycle. Go to our turn. We've got Boon of Safety at the ready, even if they have a 1 mana removal spell. And that should close it out. 8 damage in the sky against a 7 life opponent. We are 5-1 in the streets of New Capenna Qualifier Weekend. No matter what now, we're getting 10,000 gems out of this event. Feels pretty good. Still going to play my hardest these next 2 rounds, but we'll see what happens here. See if we can 7-win into day 2 for another sweet video. That would be the number one thing that would be cool about day 2, would be being able to do the high stakes draft video. But even if we can't, we're going to get a lot of gems here, whatever happens. So let's see as we head into round 7. This is a hand that, again, maybe I shouldn't keep, but I'm going to anyway. Turn 3 Inspiring Overseer is always a phenomenal way to start the game, even if you don't get a 2-drop. So we're going to go for a Plains with Broker's Hideout, drop Overseer turn 3, see if that can't give us the fuel that we need to keep going. And we're on the draw this game, so likely to hit some other stuff to play in the meantime. Kill Shot is the first draw. Not really going to fill out the curve how we'd like, but still a good card for late game. Venom Connoisseur. Our opponent does have a 2-mana play here, and we draw our Forest. That's great for our Ceremonial Groundbreaker. Now everything in our hand is castable except Ballroom Brawlers. We do need another white source at some point this game. There's an Inspiring Overseer of their own. Uh-oh. Well, if both players play an Inspiring Overseer on turn 3, it's much less of an advantage, especially if you're the one on the draw. So our opponent really kind of curving out on us. Doesn't look to be a great time here. 2-mana 2/2 into Inspiring Overseer turn 3. Kind of just what we were trying to do, but better. Send both in here. If I trade here, Giada's going to put less counters on future angels, but we have no angels in hand, and we're on the defensive, so maybe we're supposed to trade. I think I will offer the trade here. And it's going to happen. We'll take 2 down to 18. Elegant Entourage is the post-combat play. Pretty big, pretty scary creature. I'd love to blow that up with a kill shot. We only have enough mana to cast 1 spell here unless we go Giada and Fairy Vandal, in which case we have to just take all the damage they're going for here. It's going to be kind of a big hit, but because of Rooftop Nuisance in hand here, I'm actually kind of cool with dropping 2 creatures and being mana efficient here, using all 4 of our mana. Going for a Rooftop Nuisance next turn. Elegant Entourage with Venom Connoisseur is pretty deadly combination, though, because the Entourage is going to give the Connoisseur +1/+1 trample. The Connoisseur is going to give itself Death Touch. With those together, with Death Touch and trample, oh, this is bad. This is a very, very bad game for us. With Death Touch and trample, they can just do 1 damage to whatever blocks, and the rest can trample over. Yep, it's just the curve out on the play here. Going to hit us very hard. Echo Inspector gets a counter. They hit in for 7, down to 11. Drop our Fairy Vandal. And see what we've got here. Inspiring Overseer will put a counter on Fairy Vandal. We don't really have something that we can sack to the Rooftop Nuisance and feel good about it. I guess we could sack the Fairy Vandal to the Rooftop Nuisance just to tap Entourage and Echo Inspector. We're not going to have good blocks here no matter what, and we're not going to have the mana for the kill shot because we're on the draw, not on the play. So we're going to have 4 mana. We're going to have 5 mana, and they're going to have 6. Yeah, just on the draw here, we're just too far behind. I think if things were flipped here, if we're on the play, these cards are enough value, enough action to put up a very solid fight against their cards. But when they get to drop their cards first here, I think we're just too far behind. Yeah, we only get to play 1 card here because we're locked on 5 mana. I'm just going to Overseer and hope for the best, but we probably are just dying to them playing a creature or 2 here. Yep, not a 2-drop, so just 1 spell this turn. Just going to get crumbled. And the Rooftop Nuisance. Surprised they don't sack something there. Surprised they don't just sack the Connoisseur there. Draw another card out of it. But we don't know what else is in their hand. There's a lot of good reasons to go for it that way. If we don't Rooftop Nuisance, we don't survive. But even if we Rooftop Nuisance, we probably also still don't survive. Because we lock down Entourage, sure, but then if they play 2 creatures, Echo Inspector's still just lethal in the sky. We're just on Jewel Thief. We get to hold up Kill Shot that way. Then kind of have to play Spar's Headquarters so we can afford this Ballroom Brawlers in the future. Yeah, I guess it's Kill Shot time on the Entourage. Take a chunk of flying damage here. Oh my god. Okay, we mega lose. That is a titan of industry. With a Rhino Warrior Pal. You get just beaten up by a gigantic skyscraper just coming in hot. Yeah, and they just makes Echo Inspector big enough to just kill us. Yeah, because it's 2 creatures on the board. Yeah, that's dead right now. Well, opponent's deck is disgusting, and I'm horrified. Again, I do think, like, we had some legitimate action there. Like, if we're on the play, we don't, like, auto-lose that game, even with that Titan of Industry. So, I don't know. Witness Protection isn't even good against Titan of Industry. Sure, it's going to make their 7/7 reach trample a 1/1, but the problem with this card is that when it comes in, they get a shield counter and a 4/4. So we spend a card and we're still like 2 for 1ing ourselves because they still got like a ton of value off of this card. Yeah, that's really bad. Our Make Disappear is phenomenal. If we had like another copy, we'd side it in. But again, as I've said in pretty much every other round, we don't have much of a sideboard here. I think we're just sending it back in. So we're going to be on the play this time, so we'll be at the advantage here. See if we can draw a solid hand. Maybe curve out our opponent before they get anything too threatening going on. This isn't really the hand to do it, but it's close. Fairy Vandal on 2, Jewel Thief on 3's not bad. I'll keep this. Just don't have any ways to put counters on the Fairy Vandal, so it's not the scariest hand ever. But still, turn 2 Fairy Vandal, turn 3 Jewel Thief. Solid start. Far from a mulligan. There we go, Spar's Headquarters can get a counter onto Fairy Vandal and we cycle that away. So we'll do that on turn 4 if we don't draw any other spells to cast. Venom Connoisseur turn 2 from our opponent again. The curve out each game, that's going to be a problem. Here's Jewel Thief, we get to hold up our Boon of Safety. Thanks to the treasure token. We might even cast it if they play a creature to get Death Touch and attack in here. Depends on what creature they play, how much better their 3-drop is than their Venom Connoisseur. 3 mana up. Inspiring Overseer, yep. Yeah, I think I am going to trade Boon of Safety for their Venom Connoisseur here. So we can scry, try to get some gas. And then we can cycle Spar's Headquarters out of nowhere. Ooh, to beat their Inspiring Overseer. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen anymore. We can't do the trick thing with Spar's Headquarters because I'm just going to tap out for Rego here. But what we could have potentially done if we didn't draw Rego would have been to play the just attack in like this, and then maybe they block because it's a 2-1 versus a 1-2, and then we cycle Headquarters out of nowhere. Now, it would have been a super suspicious attack, so they probably wouldn't block, but it's possible that we would be making that attack just like wanting to trade our 1-2 for their 2-1 flyer, so not like the most suspicious attack in the universe, I guess. Okay, Echo Inspector's a 3-4 flyer now, not great for us. But we can make Fairy Vandal a 3-4 flyer. Backup Agent? Okay. Okay. Yeah, Backup Agent we kind of just pop off here. 3-4 flyer, we can make it a 4-5 flyer, or we make a 4-4 Vigilance Trample. I'd rather have a 4-4 Vigilance Trample, because Fairy Vandal is going to be a 4-5 flyer soon enough anyway. Attack with Rigo to threaten more damage as well. They could block Rigo to pop a shield and take 7, go to 8. And that's what they're going to do, go to 8. But yeah, if we don't attack with Rigo there, they just bounce those and they don't take an extra damage. If we send in Rigo as well, then we do get bonus damage in here. So we get to attack with all here, draw a card off backup agent. Fairy Vandal becomes a 4/5. We even have Spar's Headquarters to draw a card, make Fairy Vandal a 5/6. Anything they block with is going to kill Overseer. I guess we attack with everything but Rigo and Overseer. We do attack with backup agent because we're going to draw a card off Rigo by doing that, which makes Fairy Vandal a 4/5 and draws us a card. But we don't attack with these two because they just get blocked there. Maybe we do. Maybe our board state is wide enough we're supposed to attack all. Probably not against an opponent with 5 untapped mana. But it's close. It's close to an attack all here. I'm not going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm going to attack like this. Don't know what's in their hand. This might be the wrong play. Because if we attack all and they don't have tricks in hand, they have to block here and just take all that damage. So just going wide could have been worth it there. Okay, double block Jewel Thief to go ahead and kill that. We'll kill the bigger flyer. Hit for 5. We could hit for 6 if we cycle the headquarters right now, but I'd rather hold up all our stuff. Okay, so kill shot it is. So that's going to die too. We can't do anything about that because we already played our Boon of Safety, so there's nothing else in our deck that'll stop that. Actually, Make Disappear would stop that because we could sack the backup agent. We actually don't really want to sack it. Actually, we have a Skycryer coming up. We could sack it. I'm not going to cast a kill shot. Let's cycle this. I'm not going to cast a kill shot next turn. Let's just spend our mana to cycle and see what we hit. Another backup agent. Okay. Not bad. Not bad, but it's not going to change that event there. So we just play Skycryer. Backup agent next turn to get another counter on something. Six mana up for our opponent. 1 mana away from their Titan of Industry. Spar's Adjudicators is to play this turn, going to lock down our Skycryer from attacking. Well, we can still attack with backup agent to draw a card. What do we want to do with this backup agent? Well, first of all, let's thin our deck. Get rid of a land before we draw our card. We're probably just attacking with an Inspiring Overseer. I don't see a reason to backup agent pre-combat because we can make our Inspiring Overseer a 3/2, which still trades with theirs. We can make our backup agent a 2/2 or our Rigo a 3/3, which still just dies to their Adjudicators. So yeah, attack with these two. Draw our card. See what's up. Ooh, Sewer Crocodiles. Great here. We're going to cast that instead of the backup agent then. Okay, so trade with the Overseer. Backup agent is going to die, and then we're going to cast Sewer Crocodile. Threatening 4 unblockable damage next turn. Rooftop Nuisance will tap it down and draw them a card, but Skycryer still gets to pop off. And so it shall. With an Exotic Pets coming up, I would love to backup agent the Skycryer. I think it's worth the card draw to wait on the backup agent till post-combat. Weirdly enough here. Rather draw a card than deal 2. Majestic Metamorphosis. Okay. That is fine. Still draw the card off the Skycryer. And now we get to backup agent something that'll actually survive. This is very okay with me. And because of these pets, we are going to be threatening quite a bit of unblockable damage, plus definitely popping off with Rigo, if Rigo is still around. So Inspiring Overseer from our opponents. Man, there's a lot of great brokers sealed pools going around. It's kind of obnoxious, and I'm proud of the problem with my double Inspiring Overseer deck over here. Called Dia Strongarm. Blitz in. I guess, yeah, they don't have the mana to just hard cast it, so they just blitz it, get some counters on Overseer. Hit us for 2 here, I guess. Indefinite, no blocks here, no kill shot either. We have lethal with exotic pets, I think. It's 8 unblockable damage. Yeah, that's 8 unblockable damage. Lethal it up. Move on to game 3. And there's the concession. Big stuff from Rigo there. Rigo is great in this deck. These backup agents, the Sky Crier, the fish tokens. Phenomenal stuff from Rigo that game. We are 1-1 heading into game 3. I think, again, we're going to leave it as is. Not much to sideboard here. Game 3 of round 7 here. What will decide if we are knocked out of this event or if we make it into round 8 for all the marbles. I'm going to keep this hand here, I think. We've got that turn 3 Inspiring Overseer, which is phenomenal. Play Broker's Initiate on 2, just Headquarters turn 1. Yeah, we're going to keep this one. Opponent's on the play here. I don't like that. As we saw from the first 2 games, whoever was on the play definitely won, and a lot of that was being able to put the pressure on by being the first person playing the bigger cards. So definitely at a disadvantage here. Feels like a pretty distinct disadvantage in this matchup. Play another tapped land here, play Broker's Initiate. Go for the Overseer turn 3. Turn 4 we can Groundbreaker on the Initiate to make it an actual card on board, make it a 2/5, something that actually matters, over a 0/4. Natural Broker's mana turn 3 from our opponent. And we get hit for 1 in the sky, gain them some life. They just pass turn here. We go for an Inspiring Overseer, hope for no Make Disappear or anything weird like that. Didn't see any from them before, though. But maybe they are in the deck. Nope. Inspiring Overseer will resolve. We'll gain a life, draw a card, hit a Metropolis Angel. Not terrible here with a Boon of Safety. Spar's Adjudicators is going to get put onto their planes so that can tap for green, white, or blue. Turn 4, they can send in that Scryer, gain another life, no blocks. In main phase 2, they're going to drop down an Echo Inspector. Very good flyer, particularly good against our deck by being just a very sturdy flyer that stops our attacks pretty much outright as a 3/4 flyer for 4. Echo Inspector and Rafine's Informant are the strongest connive commons in the set. They're both very, very good. Opponent may be a little flooded out here. They might want to discard a land. Doesn't really matter what they discard here. It's still going to be big enough to hold off our Inspiring Overseer. Unfortunately for us, it's not looking great. Turn 4 here, we're probably dumping out Metropolis Angel. That seems more impactful than turning Broker's Initiate into a 2/5. Although if we Broker's Hideout, we know we get to play Ballroom Brawlers on turn 5. I think Metropolis Angel is more likely to matter. Maybe, maybe not. Because even though Metropolis Angel can theoretically draw us a card every turn, even with a shield counter, we're not going to have good attacks pretty much anywhere to consistently draw that card. Maybe we put a shield counter on the Broker's Initiate, and then we would. So we threaten to make it a 5/5 and kill whatever they block with, but probably not. So we play a Groundbreaker and don't equip it to play our tapped land this turn, so we know we have a 5-drop on 5, or we just play Metropolis Angel with an untapped land this turn. I don't think we play Groundbreaker. This might be greedy here, but I think I'm going to play Metropolis Angel. I don't think Ballroom Brawlers is going to matter a ton on the ground. There's a lot of flying action going on this game. Send in the squad, we take 4. Workshop War Chief. Oh yeah, our opponent's deck's very good. Is this the rabble-rousing opponent still? Don't remember. What are we doing here? Jewel Thief's big enough to trade into War Chief, but they get a 4/4 when we do that. They have Adjudicators they can just tap down to shut off a blocker. Really feels like very little shot here, but our best bet, I think we have to attack with something to draw off a Metropolis Angel. So we need to just draw straight gas all game. I feel like a Jewel Thief boon is safety here. Attack with the Angel, save the Overseer back, and maybe we're actually trading with Skycry. Maybe we should have done that sooner. Let's Broker's Hideout first to thin a land out of the deck, I guess. And then we Boon of Safety the Angel and Scry 1 to see what we're hitting. Exotic Pets is a good card here. We'll take it. Drop Jewel Thief. Draw the Exotic Pets and pass. Opponents gain so much life here, though, because the Skycry keeps popping off in the Workshop War Chief as well. Even if Pets gives us some more unblockable stuff, it's not really going to turn into a win. I probably should have just taken this trade a century ago. Taking 8 here. Just chump 4 damage with Broker's Initiate because we're never going to afford the 5 to buff it anyway. Sure. Witness Protection on War Chief. It's actually huge. That's actually really good. Let's draw a card off Metropolis Angel before we do anything. We have 6 mana up. If we draw another land, we can play Sewer Crocodile and Witness Protection. Then we have a 4/6 to block Adjudicators. And War Chief's just a 1/1 with no abilities, so we just take 3 next turn. So we try to draw land off Metropolis Angel here. If we don't, we still play a 3/5 to block Adjudicators. This feels great. Witness Protection off the top, phenomenal here. I actually probably would have sided in the second if I saw the War Chief. Maybe I did see the War Chief and just forgot. That would be insane. It's possible it happened, though. I've been back and forth. During sideboarding, I've been doing some other stuff, editing it out. All right, well, we got the line. We got the land for it. It's Metropolis Angel with the shield counter popping off. Land for turn from opponent. They don't have triple green, which is certainly something. Let's see what trick they have to kill the crocodile here. This gets the trick out of the way, and then Ballroom Brawlers comes down and blocks Adjudicators all day. Yeah, Libation, fine with it. Inspiring Overseer, much less fine with that. That gets rid of our shield counter on the Angel. Now we have to play Exotic Pets right now. If we play Exotic Pets right now, we don't get Ballroom Brawlers. Yikes. Wow, yeah, that's really bad. Maybe I'm just not attacking with Metropolis Angel then. Feels wrong, but I don't think I can anymore. I'm at 9 here. We have 6 mana. We're 1 mana off from going Paragon of Modernity and Exotic Pets. We can't just take 5 in the sky. We have to hold off with Metropolis Angel. Exotic Pets is just our best play, is it not? Is Ballroom Brawlers better than Pets? Maybe. Yeah, let's go Brawlers. We can Groundbreaker them up and get a lot of life gain in the future, and they stop Adjudicators from hitting us. They just drew removal. They top decked removal. They're reading our stuff here. Is it all over? Yep. Locks that down. They hit us for 5, and they've got an unblockable fish as well now. Still do have Brawlroom Brawlers for life gain. Speakeasy Server gains 3. Puts a 3/3 flyer down. Likely our best play. We go to 7 life, and we have a 3/3 flyer to block with, so they only attack with the Echo Inspector and the fish. But they're getting really close to going wide and killing us anyway. Even if I attack with the Ballroom Brawlers now, I can't afford to play Groundbreaker and equip here because I need to play a flying blocker. I mean, I guess if I play Groundbreaker and equip, Brawlers is a 5 power lifelinker. 5/6 lifelink. They double block. Kill, gain 5, we go to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9. They could just not block and then kill us on the crackback. Yeah, because of that, we're just on Speakeasy Server past turn, which isn't great. Because otherwise, they just block with these two, and we kill a 1/1 to gain 3 life. And then we don't have a 3/5 to block their 4/4 anymore. Rego. They've got a Rego of their own as well. Their deck is slightly more loaded than ours. Titan of Industry, legitimate business person, Rego. Or legitimate business person. Titan of Industry, what is this actually called? Workshop War Chief. Titan of Industry, Workshop War Chief, and Rego. Slightly better than Giada and Rego. Inspiring Overseer is a good draw. Gain a life, get another flying blocker here. Double block their Echo Inspector now. But I mean, we're pretty dead, I think. Been saying that a lot this game. These last couple turns. Land lets us play Paragon of Modernity instead of Exotic Pets, which is probably better for stopping them from attacking us. Now they only attack us with the fish, maybe? 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 Hold on. And then maybe we throw Groundbreaker on Brawlers and start attacking with a big lifelinker. Oh, then they just block with Rego and the shield counter soaks it all up. They have the Spara's headquarters as well? Wow, they've got the on-color Triome and Rego Workshop War Chief and Titan of Industry. Plus double Overseer. Yeah. And I should expect this. You should definitely expect this when you get to like 5 wins in a major sealed event like this. You're going to just start running up against really, really, really good decks. Which I guess is a bit of a compliment to our deck, because that means our deck's also one of the really, really good decks. Because it's a deck that's still around in this round. Okay, I think we lose. Do we lose right now? No, we just have to chump block, which is disgusting. Yeah, it's real bad. Forced into the chump here. Guess we gotta double block that Echo Inspector. And went to 2 life instead. Of 3. We don't have the mana to play and equip Groundbreaker and also play Exotic Pets, because it costs 3 to equip. Neither of these are citizens. Somehow the people in the ballroom are not citizens, but the disciplined duelist is. We have no way of not just dying next turn if they just click all attack. Yeah, because if I just hold my mana for Exotic Pets, they only have to attack with Echo Inspector. So, I mean, I guess our only line is to gain life here. Which then we just don't have blockers, so we just die, because Freelance Muscle is going to be like an infinite. Pretty much 100% certain we're dead on board, whatever play we do. So let's see, block there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, we're very dead on board. That's gonna end our Streets of New Capenna Qualifier Weekend performance. 5 and 2, I think. All right, 5 and 2 it is. A bit of a bummer, making it pretty close to that 7 win to potentially make it into day 2 for the traditional draft event, but I'll absolutely take it. A really great showing from our deck, losing to 2 very, very, very good decks. Deck with Workshop War Chief, Titan of Industry, double Angelic Overseer, or Inspiring Overseer, Rigo of their own, and Spara's Headquarters. It's like at the minimum they had 4 great on-color rares there, plus the Inspiring Overseers that we had. And the other round that we lost was against the 5-color control deck with 6 great rares, all in the main deck, 2 one-sided Wrath effects. Just some very, very, very good decks and opponents that we lose to there. I'll take those losses every time. Some hard-fought matches, even in the rounds that we lost. I believe we got 1 win in each losing round. So, yeah, not a bad event at all. Really fun time. Pretty sweet deck that we opened up here. Pretty great sealed pool of our own. We had Rigo and Giada being our on-color rares. The Spara's Headquarters as well for the mana fixing. So we had three Brokers rares here, which is pretty nice. And they all popped off pretty well. Our sealed pool definitely had the synergies for all of these cards to work well. There was that one game where we had Giada and we got to play Celestial Regulator that was just like 5/6 out of nowhere, and I was like, oh my god, how big does Giada make it? Because I thought Giada only just put 1 counter on every angel you play, but it puts a counter for each angel you already control on your next angel. So we played like a Celestial Regulator after we already had Giada and like a couple Inspiring Overseers on board, so that was insane. Yeah, pretty sick sealed pool all around. Again, great synergy-driven rares with the cards to work with them. We have the Fish tokens, the backup agents, the Brokers, Initiate, Skycrier to work with Rigo. We have the Angels to work with Giada. Got the card draw to work with Fairy Vandal with Inspiring Overseers and Rooftop Nuisance. Metropolis Angel also synergizes really well with Fairy Vandal and Skycrier, or Fairy Vandal and Giada, and Rigo as well. So, really cool, really nice sealed pool. 5 and 2 performance there. Can't be unhappy with it. We're getting 10,000 gems. That's like $50 worth of gems out of the event. Really nice time. Great rewards. And honestly, some fun gameplay. That's the most fun I think I've had playing Streets of New Capenna in a little while. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Great stuff from our opponents. The decks that we lost to were some sweet stuff. Just big old Brokers deck, and the 5-color deck was a real cool one to lose to. 5-color good stuff, double Wrath, very well built stuff from our opponents. So that is going to end today's video, though. We've got some great events on the horizon, even if we're done with the highly competitive limited events. We've got very cool stuff on the horizon. Strixhaven quick drafts are out in the meantime, so I'll probably do 1 or 2 of those. But next Thursday, they are bringing Alchemy to Streets of New Capenna, and for the first time ever, they're making a draftable Alchemy queue. That's going to be a Streets of New Capenna Premier draft, except 1 card in every pack is going to be from the Streets of New Capenna Alchemy sets, and the prize packs at the end, I believe, will also be Alchemy prize packs. But that's going to be really interesting. I'm pretty excited to draft that. That seems like a really cool way to shake up the format after it being a little stale at this point. So we get to do some Streets of New Capenna drafts, but 1 card in every pack is going to be a brand new Alchemy only card. So it's kind of like Streets of New Capenna, but they added its own sort of mystical archives in. So that'll be a cool time. I'm very excited for that. And then we'll start ramping up into the Baldur's Gate draft season. That should be at the start of July eventually. So cool stuff on the horizon. Excited for it all. If you want to see some more draft sealeds, limited gameplay in general, or just general Magic Arena gameplay, stick around on the channel. As always, you can like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know to send some more of these videos to you in your recommended feeds. And once again, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.